what you choose. And I was told there's not a minute to lose. So if you're waiting, jump out your skin to find a cure for whatever state you're in. I tell my good friends, get out the way of all the lightning hitting the trees today. We get a thrill from clapping our hands. We find the nearest girl and ask her to dance. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the weekend. I'm gonna my shoes and I'm ready for the
Good evening from Edgbaston and welcome to Bears Den TV for our 2021 Vitality Blast match between the Birmingham Bears and the Notts Outlaws. Over the next 30 minutes we'll have all the build up to you in the warm-up with Lord Combustion Services. Play gets underway at 6:30 and the Bears seeking a 6th win in the competition after Wednesday night's emphatic 10-wicket victory over the Yorkshire Vikings. Now there will be more than 6,000 Bears fans here this evening and we want you to all have a great time with us, but of course the game is operating under COVID restrictions, so please keep your distance from other groups, follow our one-way routes and wear a mask as you move around the bowl. Now we know that many of you are also supporting the Bears from home and we try and take a step closer to the quarterfinals. Get involved as well via social media. You can send us your photos. Of course the hashtag you're after as ever is YouBears, or you could of course download the Edgbaston app. We'll be running polls throughout the evening and you can send us your pictures and they'll come up on the big screens as part of our photo wall. To kick off the coverage tonight, let's speak to the Bears first team coach Mark Robinson, and he's talking to us about Wednesday night's performance against the Yorkshire Vikings and tonight's games against the league leaders, the Notts Outlaws.
Mark, after Wednesday's emphatic victory, you must be a pretty pleased coach right now.
Yeah, look, it was outstanding. Those are freak games where everything sort of goes your way very quickly. Ends up being a very stressless day, which all coaches like. But they're one-offs, and every other game we've had have been a battle to how to get over the line or to try and get near the line. So we know there's a stiff test in front of us tonight, but it was a well-needed victory. It was great for morale, and like you said, the way we did it as well.
Does it help as well that there's a game literally right around the corner as well to build that momentum?
Yeah, you do. You want to obviously go again quite quickly. We've lost Carlos, which is a huge blow because he's been a big player for us and a big personality. But as you know, it gives the responsibility to others, and certain different members of the team are going to have to step up and fill those very, very big shoes, and that's always happens in a team. You know, you've got your perfect 11. We've had that all summer. We haven't really been able to get our perfect 11 out, but it creates opportunity, and tonight there'll be another opportunity for somebody to fill those overs at Carlos balls and come in at the back end of any innings to hopefully get us over the line or boost our total like the big guy.
The thoughts of head coach Mark Robinson there ahead of the game against the Notts Outlaws. The toss taking place in the middle right now. Shortly we'll speak to the captain, Will Rhodes, to find out what the Bears are up to in the first innings. So join us back here in a few moments' time when we'll speak to Will.
Look sharp, don't make me bring a bit and get dark. Hear the bang, see the spark. Duck down, lay down, just down.
Welcome back to Edgbaston Live now with the Bears captain Will Rhodes. Will, tell us about the toss.
Won the toss and we're going to have a bowl.
Tough decision or a fairly simple one after the performance against Yorkshire on Wednesday?
Pretty simple. Seems to have a good game plan against Yorkshire, so hopefully we can replicate that tonight. Obviously not so a fantastic team and top of the league, so I'm going to have to bring our A game, I think.
What confidence have you guys taken from that performance against the Vikings? Because you'd had 3 losses in a row, so to turn in a performance like that against the league leaders was quite impressive.
Yeah, massive. A lot of guys put the hand up, especially with the ball, and then obviously the 2 guys at the top of the order put their hands up as well. So a lot of guys in good form and, yeah, playing some good cricket at the minute.
Do you take confidence from the performance at Trent Bridge against this side earlier in the campaign?
I think we have to. I think it's sort of, it's one of those games, isn't it, where you always sort of take momentum and confidence from beating sides. And yeah, we got a good result against at Trent Bridge earlier in the campaign, but both teams have progressed since then and obviously played a few games. So, like I say, it's going to be a difficult game.
Winning in the manner you did, not only great for confidence, not only good for the batsmen as well, but also in terms of momentum, because the T20 can all be about momentum, can't it?
It can. It's getting to that stage of the campaign where wins are almost double now. Very crucial. We've obviously got two big derbies coming up as well next week. So if we can get a win tonight and go into those derbies full of confidence, then that'd be great.
Finally, team news. Any changes this evening?
One change. Carlos is out and Rob Yates is in.
Great to have Rob back in the starting 11.
It is. Yeah, he's obviously been absent for a few weeks with illness, so it's great to have him back.
Will, go well. Thank you for your time.
Cheers.
That's Will Rhodes, the Bears captain, confirming, of course, that the Bears have won the toss and they've asked the Notts Outlaws to bat first.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades. I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
The views from Edgbaston Road on Monday were surreal. Medical tents lined up the car park and police as well as medical staff walked around wearing protective clothing.
Hello lads. You're on mute, Skip.
Skip, you're on mute, mate.
Can you hear me?
Sorry guys, someone's at the door.
No more of this virtual stuff nonsense.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're bringing summer back. Yes. Yes. Game on.
Birmingham have snatched a wonderful victory here from the jaws of defeat. What a catch from the captain!
Game on.
Game on!
Welcome back to Edgbaston. With me now is none other than one of the most popular faces here at the ground. He's smiling as I say that to him. Fast bowler and Bears Podblast host, of course, Ollie Dolby. First of all, great to have you here. First time on Bears Den TV as well. It's been a bit quiet for you, but Championship cricket about to start again on Sunday.
Yeah, really exciting. That kicks off again on Sunday. Obviously, T20 has been really exciting, but perhaps a bit more normality on Sunday when we play a bit more red ball cricket, which would be great.
Terrific performance on Wednesday night. You've played in so many T20 campaigns over the years. A victory like that against Yorkshire, in the manner that it was achieved, can do so much for the side, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was sat in the stands, and it was pretty emphatic, wasn't it? The way the guys bowled was exceptional, and then for Hosey and Ed to knock off that little total like they did was absolutely brilliant. Finishing it off, whacking it in the stands was exceptional from Hosey. So yeah, hopefully we can take a lot of momentum from that. We're down the sort of business end of the competition. Hopefully a couple more wins, and we should be qualified. So yeah, it's exciting.
And it's one of those competitions, isn't it? It doesn't matter how you start. It doesn't matter really kind of if you have a great start or a bad start. There is always an opportunity with the number of fixtures and the fact that you can get these back-to-back wins to make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've seen in the last few years momentum towards the back end of the competition when you go into finals day and whatnot, pays dividends. So hopefully we can get on a bit of a run here, take that into qualifying, take that into the quarterfinals, and hopefully finals day here we can win it.
You've had some great games against the Outlaws in the past. Any fond memories?
Yeah, we've had a few great games against Notts. Always high scoring. I seem to remember our opening game a few years ago. Grant Elliott taking a screaming catch over his shoulder. Those sort of things. So yeah, it's always a great game against these guys. Like I say, high scoring at their place in particular. So it should be a good contest tonight.
And as trophies go, you've won quite a few. And last week you picked up the second 11 T20 trophy down in Arundel. Tell us about that.
Yeah, great day out. We had I was playing, Sid was playing, George Garrett got a fifer, but yeah, we won the second 11 T20 trophy, which was absolutely brilliant. Great day out, playing down at Arundel in the grounds of a Norman castle was unbelievable. So yeah, it was great fun.
Well, good luck for you returning to Red Ball action on Sunday. Don't forget, everyone, get the pod blast. You and Richard. It's Carlos Brathwaite, the latest one, isn't it?
Yeah, big Carlos this week. He was exceptional, so, you know.
I bet you didn't have to say much, did you?
No, he was good. He was very good.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ollie. Thank you for your time. Ollie Halland-Dolby, as we say, back in Red Ball action for Warwickshire here on Sunday against Durham in the County Championship. Members can gain entry by showing their membership card, and tickets are also available, priced at £15 for adults and free for under 16s as well. Now, a piece of sporting history was recently made in Birmingham when two LGBTQ cricket teams took part in a match for the first time. The London-based Graces took on Birmingham Unicorns in a 40-over game at Wheelie Hill Oval. And we're delighted to welcome some of the Unicorn squad here to Edgbaston tonight. And ahead of that match against the Graces, the Director of Cricket, Paul Farbrace, and the first team coach, Mark Robinson, hosted a special coaching session.
I felt like there was a gap, and I knew of Graces Cricket Club, but as the only LGBT cricket club in the world, it felt like there's got to be more LGBTQ plus cricketers out there, or people who are interested in learning about cricket. So I started to explore the idea, chatted to a few people I knew, chatted to a couple of charities who are involved in sports, and we decided to do a survey just to find out what sort of demand was out there, and we got a pretty good take-up on that. We've had about 20 odd people respond. So it felt like there was a demand to at least explore the idea and see if we could make a club out of it. We've been meeting over Zoom over the winter, and rapidly it kind of evolved. And suddenly, by January, we were Birmingham Unicorns Cricket Club. By March, we were constituted. We've got a set of fixtures. We've got 8 fixtures in the diary confirmed for this season. And we've now got over 20 playing members and about another 6 or 7 social members. So organically, it's growing, but we've been quite surprised, pleasantly surprised at how enthusiastic people have been about it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think Lachlan's done a really good job in kind of going from the idea and then building a committee and then building a team, and we build our social media profiles and websites and everything. So we did everything really professionally and did a really good job given all the restrictions, and only this is the first time most of us have met. So yeah, I think it's really good for the community and what's going on in Birmingham.
Yeah, and that's what tonight was lovely. As I say, you had people who had obviously played for quite a few years, and people were just telling me they've only really just started up. One of the girls was saying she'd never batted before, and that's what the game's brilliant. It takes you back to why you started in the first place.
My name is Manish Modi. I play for a Graces Cricket Club in London. It's the only LGBT plus cricket club since 1996. I've been playing for them, God knows, I've lost the count, probably 13 seasons. I'm a proud gay man, and it's the best cricket club I've ever played for. Gracies has not only helped me to become a better player, but made me a better person as well. Helped me to come out to my family back in India, and I just cannot thank you enough to them. This is going to be great. I have known the boys for quite a while now, and they are like our extended family. It's like my cousins in Birmingham, and I'm so looking forward to next Sunday. It's going to be more like LGBT plus festival. There are lots of people coming up. Some of the other clubs I play for in South London or Bedfordshire, they are coming to support us as well. So honestly, mate, I cannot wait till next Sunday.
Good evening, Edgbaston. Welcome to this Vitality Blast encounter between the Birmingham Bears and the Notts Outlaws. Let's confirm the toss and the team news for you. The Bears have won the toss and have asked the Notts Outlaws to bat. Let's have a look at the teams, and we'll start with the visitors. Alex Hales, Ben Duckett, Ben Slater, Peter Trigo, Sumit Patel, Lyndon James, Stephen Mullaney, Luke Fletcher, Matthew Carter, Calvin Harrison, and Jake Ball. And now for the Birmingham Bears for tonight's encounter. Starting with number 28, Ed Pollock. Adam Hose. your captain, Will Rhodes. Our record T20 run scorer, Sam Hain. A return for Rob Yates. Matt Lamb. Michael Burgess. Tim Bresnan. Danny Briggs. Craig Miles. And Jake Lintott. And now you'll notice tonight that something special may happen when we have a 4 or a 6 or even a Bears wicket. You're likely to get a blast of this. Feel that heat. They are your teams for tonight, and they're your pyros for tonight as well. Terrific performance on Wednesday night against the Yorkshire Vikings, a 10-wicket victory. Let's have a look at the highlights. Former Yorkshire man, of course, Tim Bresnan. These two were embracing earlier on in the field of play, and that's a massive hit from Adam Lyth through the covers for 6. He's dispatched his mate over the boundary. Of course, Tim Bresnan. These two were embracing earlier on in the field of play, and that's a massive hit from Adam Lyth through the covers for 6. Make them last longer, and certainly more consistent. Bresnan's in, and he's got him. Make them last longer. And certainly more consistent. Bresnan's in, and he's got him.
You're going to win 70% of games.
Oh, really?
Like that, yeah. So.
Brathwaite, oh, that's up in the air. They could be losing a 3rd wicket here. It's over the shoulder, and it's a really good catch. That's well taken by Matt Lamb. And it's 45 not out at the weekend against Northants. And immediately this time it's Stoneman who's gone up in the air, and it's another one for Brathwaite. Brathwaite, easy as you like for Sam Hain at the edge of the circle.
Yeah, I'd have been from my hands at first slip.
Brings in again, and he's gone! Bresnan's got him! Well, Izzy, you called that one, didn't you? Bresnan grabbed 42 for 5. Craig Miles is into the attack. That's up in the air, and it's brought a wicket first ball. He's gone! Best goes for 2. 42.
Too hard.
47 for 6. Lintott's in, turn round the corner. There's enough on that. That's going all the way for 4. Can't be cut off that time by Craig Miles. It's a deep shot. Side 2 on the short offside boundary. They've tried to reverse, and he's bowled him. Lintott gets his wicket.
The things that lockdown has done to people.
55 for 7. He's edged it. He's gone. Waits on his way. Miles has his 2nd. 55 for 7. He's edged it. He's gone. Miles is in again from the Birmingham end. Just an angled bat. Run down to the boundary here. And Tim Bresnan with a terrific stop. In the sense that, you know, even if it's not really their day, they just make things happen.
They do. They're the sort of...
Remaining here for the Vikings to see out and score as many as they can. And at this point, a fish has gone up in the air and he's gone. Patience war. Overs remaining here for the Vikings to see out and score as many as they can. And at this point, a fish has gone up in the air and he's gone. Patience wore out. And in comes Miles to finish off the legs, and that's going to be a 6. And that's what Harry Brook can do with that leg side boundary available to him. Not the end that Craig Miles wanted, but 3 for 19.
That tight few overs in the power play.
Ferguson has gone. And the innings is over.
Few overs in the power play.
Ferguson has gone. And the innings is over. 81 all out are the Vikings. That white ball in his hand if he wasn't playing ODI cricket for England right now. And Adam Hose has swung that one away. And that's 4 runs. Ball in his hand if he wasn't playing ODI cricket for England right now. And Adam Hose has swung that one away. And that's 4 runs. Right down by the dugout. Really good chance to boost your net run rate here as well. Hose through the covers. That's going to run away for 4 as well. Through the outfield, which is running really nicely. Beautiful shade of green. But to be honest with you, Ferguson's in. Hose. Short boundary. Classic shot. 4 runs.
He's played some lovely shots here, Hose.
To be honest with you, Ferguson's in. Hose. Short boundary. Classic shot. 4 runs.
He's played some
bit of movement there from Jordan Thompson. Let's see what Ferguson does with his free hit. And Hose, well, home and hosed, you would say, all the way to the boundary for 6. Magnificent shot from Adam. Movement there from Jordan Thompson. Let's see what Ferguson does with his free hit. And Hose, well, home and hosed, you would say, all the way to the boundary for 6. Magnificent shot from Adam. Just getting into this one. A cut away by Pollock for 4. Just getting into this one. A cut away by Pollock for 4. Ricardo Gordon is with us. Pollock's pulled that one onto the leg side. It's going to be one bounce and over the rope. Ricardo Gordon is with us. Pollock's pulled that one onto the leg side. It's going to be one bounce and over the rope. Weight in from the far end. Brilliant from Hose. Gave himself room. Carves it away. Hose, very sensible. Waits in again. Hose pulls that one this time. And that's just dropped short of the boundary and is 4 more. Thompson bowls. That's a great shot from Ed Pollock. He did not go for punch that, hasn't he? Really nice shot from Ed Pollock. Next one, though, is going leg side, and it's going all the way. It's about 10 rows back. It's 6 runs from Ed Pollock, who clearly won in the last 2 games. Thompson's in again. Oh, he's got that one away. Cut it away. Way over the head of the third man fielder. And that's 4 more from Ed. 65 without loss now. And that's cut away by Pollock, just deflected down to third man. It's going to be fielded by Don Bess. It'll just be a single. It's just a bit of a false start in his run-up. Hose instead goes straight down the ground. And he's cleared the ropes. And it's all the way for 6 from Adam. Just a bit of a false start in his run-up. Hose instead goes straight down the ground. And he's cleared the ropes. And it's all the way for 6 from Adam Hose. He moves on to 40. The Bears now look to repeat that again. 2 required then to Hose, and he has dispatched Lockie Ferguson all the way into the upper tier of the stand. That's huge, and what a way to finish the game.
I think we'd like a bit more of that tonight, if possible. Highlights of the victory on Wednesday against the Yorkshire Vikings. Tonight at Edgbaston, we're honouring the careers of 2 great Bears who made the decision to call time on their playing careers at the end of the 2020 season, having won multiple trophies across all 3 formats. Now, sadly, because of COVID and games being played behind closed doors last season, it stopped us being able to give the players the fitting farewell they deserved. However, tonight with the members and supporters in the ground, it's time to say thank you to Tim Ambrose and Jeetan Patel.
Got a secret side in plain sight. Where the streets are empty, that's where we run. Everyday people do everyday things, but I can't be one of them. I know you hear me now, we are a different kind. We can do anything. We could be
And we'll be honouring those Bears at the interval tonight. Don't forget to get involved in Bears Den TV. You can follow us on social media using the hashtag YouBears, and you can follow us at Warwickshire County Cricket Club on Twitter and Instagram, and Warwickshire County Cricket Club on Facebook as well. We want to see your pictures tonight too, either from home or here within the ground. If you haven't already downloaded the new Edgbaston app on the iOS or Android devices, you can upload your pictures to the photo wall, or you can send them via Twitter using the hashtag YouBears. That's more like it. Whilst we're at the stadium, of course, though, remember there is social distancing in place, so please aim to leave 2 seats to the side of your group. Avoid sitting directly in front of another group, and also please avoid sitting on aisle seats. As we build up to the start of the game at 6:30, we're joined by a famous bear, a very fast bear as well. Ollie Stone is alongside us. He was here on Wednesday night as well to watch that epic performance from the Bears. What kind of momentum can the team get from a win like that?
Yeah, loads. Obviously, to come out and perform the way we did is obviously going to be crucial going into tonight against another very good side.
As a bowler, This is a bit of a leading question. What impressed you most about the Bears' performance?
Just their aggression. Obviously, T20. Sometimes as a bowler, it might not go your way, but the way the lads kept running in and kept getting those wickets were obviously great.
One of the key things I think as well, and I'm not sure the Yorkshire side helped themselves, they seem to just keep going for it, and that seems to be a bit of a theme in T20 cricket this year. Even when sides are struggling and in trouble, they're continuing to try and fire those boundaries and get to a respectable total, regardless of whether they bat the overs out.
Yeah, obviously the way people bat deep nowadays, it can allow the teams to keep doing that. Obviously 2 long batting lineups tonight, so we'll probably see it again.
We saw Jake Lintott return as well. I mean, just to have him back and the variation he's offering in the side, he's been a key player in this T20 competition.
Yeah, he's crucial throughout the middle overs for us, especially turning the screw along with Danny Briggs. And yeah, it was great to have him back, and he showed his worth in the last game.
And you back to Bears win Wednesday? We're going for a Bears win again?
Of course.
Of course you are. Ollie Stone, thank you for joining us here at Edgbaston ahead of the game between the Bears and the Outlaws. Now, if you are new to the Bears and new to the Blast, here's a quick overview on what you should expect.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
Well, it's that time again. Time for a bit of rock and roll. Huge wicket! Oh, have a look at that! That's brilliant! What a catch! And boy, did they need that!
Well, this is punishing stuff from David Malan. He keeps going and going.
Oh, excellent catch! Gone, what a delivery! That is an absolute beauty! That is magnificent! Got to be quick here. Oh, brilliant! Brilliant, world class, David Willey!
Please welcome your on-field umpires, Tom Lungley and Mohammed Saeed. Followed, led by Will Rhodes, by the Birmingham Bears. You Bears!
In Halford, and Brian, you look at the respective teams, even without Carlos Brathwaite for the Bears, given the performance they had the other night, there'll be so much confidence running through that side.
There will, Mikey. Good evening to you and good evening to everybody. Yes, a mouth-watering one this. For the second time in 3 days, the North Group leaders come to Edgbaston. Now, what happened the first time, 3 days ago? The Bears' first ever 10-wicket defeat in T20. So, be a bit optimistic to ask for another one of those. But Notts, very, very powerful, of course. The blast holders, Duckett and Hales out there, two very powerful batsmen to open the batting. But as you say, Mikey, the Bears couldn't be going into it on the back of a better result.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bit of optimism, is there, in these kind of situations. And we're going to get a bit of spin first up from Danny Briggs.
Yep, Danny Briggs has opened the bowling most times in the blast, and most times he's taken a wicket in the first over. That would be very welcome.
Well, here he comes then. And just a little push in the end there from Duckett, just to get off the mark. Interesting to see how they go about this. You can't imagine Hales will have too many pushes. I remember a game a couple of years ago I covered, Brian, which was out of one of the outgrounds. I think it was Mansfield, in a 40 over game, and I think he smashed about 8 balls into the hedge on that occasion. Brings again to continue. A little tentative push that time from Hales.
Yes, the Bears won at Trent Bridge, of course, earlier in the tournament, and they got Hales for naught. What a huge fillip that was early on in the innings. Very dangerous player.
Brings again, and again Hales just trying to find his mark a little bit. Able just to get it moving, just a little prod into the offside. This time stepping back and finding the gap, and he's going to find the boundary. And it didn't take him long to get it up and running.
Yeah, classy shot that from Alex Hales. Many people, I think, will be expecting him to go for that short leg side boundary from this end, and no doubt he will eye it up at some stage. But that was a very classy shot through the covers for 5 without a loss from 4 balls.
Yeah, the boundary is quite a way in from the Eric Hollies. As Briggs comes in once more. And Hales just a little forward defensive. And Briggs can field himself. All about how they can pace this. And just couldn't quite stop it that time, Briggs, and he might have a go. Well, he went for the wicket-keeper's end. Might have been more of an option to go to the bowler's end there.
Yeah, I think there was a single there, but that was a good first over from Danny Briggs, 6 without loss. If they can keep that up for 20 overs and be chasing 120, they'd settle for that, but it's going to be a bit unlikely, of course, as Notts go through the gears. That Warwickshire, or the Bears captain Will Rhodes, got a bit of thinking to do today, having lost Carlos Brathwaite, who's been the leader of the bowling attack many ways this year in T20. 18 wickets at just 13 runs apiece, Carlos Brathwaite, so he really is a loss. Carlos, unfortunately, is tested for COVID, positive for COVID, so the Bears are a key bowler down. Another key bowler now to start the attack from the pavilion end, Tim Bresnan.
Yeah, Bresnan thundering in as usual. A nice line from him early on to start, making sure that Hales couldn't really move the feet. I think there's about 6,000 expected inside Edgbaston tonight.
A gorgeous evening, isn't it?
It is.
Edgbaston looking an absolute picture.
There's Bresnan again. A little bit more room, and it's a big hook, and it just about bounced inside the rope for second boundary for Alex Hales. Was able just to rock back on that one. There was a fielder down there, Brian, but he wasn't afraid to take it on.
Yes, there's a bit of a gamble there from Hales, but that's what you've got to do in T20. There's a lot of space out there, so he'd have been unlucky to pick out the deep long leg. Just went 2 or 3 feet to the right of the fielder, 4 to Hales.
Yeah, ring of fielders on the offside, big space with 2 on the boundary on the leg side, and they can just clip that in, and if they run hard they might get 2. No, good fielding from the Bears, players rushing in, did just about enough that time.
Tim Bresnan, another very effective performer this season with the ball for the Bears. A couple of threefers already. A lot of experience, of course. Now to bowl to the left-handed Duckett, for whom the boundary at this end is short.
Just managed to whip it away off the hips. They'll scamper through just for one. Say Bresnan at 36. Many will refer to as the old stager, but he's younger than me even, so I'm not sure I'd appreciate too many people going for him as the old man of this team. But plenty of experience. And again, Hale's just able to rock back and work it just for a quick single.
Yes, you mentioned Tim's experience, Mikey, and Mark Robinson, the coach, was saying the other day, apart from Bresnan and Danny Briggs and Carlos Brathwaite, it is a reasonably young, quite a young set of guys here at the Bears, so these experienced guys, very important.
Here's Bresnan once more. A little bit fuller that time. I'll just get the single. Was, I think, Craig Miles out on the boundary. And not a bad over again. Started off with that hook away. 14 for no loss off 2 is not too bad going from the Bears' point of view.
No, it's a solid start with the ball. What they would like, of course, is early wickets, because that really does tend to increase the pressure later on if the batting side does get through to the midpoint of the innings with plenty of wickets in hand. Then they have got licence to thrash a bit from then on, so the Bears would love to winkle 1 or 2 out in the power play.
Briggs to continue, and that one is well hooked away for another boundary from Ben Duckett. Maybe a touch too full.
Yeah, dangerous player Duckett. Not too much wrong with that ball, as you say, Mikey. It was well up there, but just a good improvised sweep shot from Duckett. Placed it beautifully as well, just fine of the man at square leg.
Difficulty in the power play, isn't it? Where do you put your men out on the boundary? Can't have them everywhere. That was a little bit shorter and it got a similar treatment. A little bit finer, but Duckett again finding the boundary. And Danny Briggs with 1 or 2 things to think about, because Duckett seems to have his number at the start of this over.
Yeah, that was pretty premeditated, that from Ben Duckett, wasn't it? He spotted the gap there. As you were saying, Mikey, it's difficult to know where to put the deep fielders in the power play, but now they have dropped a man back at long leg to plug the gap that Duckett has plundered in the last 2 balls.
Here he comes again, Briggs, and this time the switch hit, and it's got a similar treatment, and that's massive for the maximum. Ben Duckett enjoying himself early on here at Edgbaston. Premeditated hit as well, and it went the distance.
Yeah, 4-4-6 at the start of this over, and Danny Briggs, one of the Bears' go-to bowlers, getting a little bit roughed up at the moment, and do need to break this opening partnership.
Briggs is going to go over the wicket this time and just play it into the gap. That'll be a safe single. No bad response, at least it stopped those flow of boundaries. Briggs once more, able to field that himself. He'll be happy enough with a dot ball after what we've seen already. And that time though, Hales has gone massive, and that is deep, 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 all the way back. It's another maximum, and that is a pretty big over as far as the Notts Outlaws are concerned.
Yep, 2 4s, 2 6s from the over, and Danny Briggs goes away to think about that. He's been so consistent for the Bears in T20 this year, but the Bears have got a bit of a quandary here, or skipper Will Rhodes has, because without Carlos Brathwaite there isn't too much depth to the bowling options today. Rob Yates has come in for Carlos, which of course is Rob primarily a batsman, so really we're looking at limited bowling options, and if somebody does get collared, there's not many other places to go in the bowling attack. So the Bears the frontline bowlers are under pressure to perform against one of the strongest batting lineups in county cricket.
Craig Miles taking over from Tim Bresnan at the pavilion end. Not a bad delivery. Duckett was swinging hard for it. That first over, it went for just 6, followed up by Danny Briggs with the second one going for 21.
Craig Miles starts with a dot ball, and Craig Miles has actually been a solid performer with the ball, with the Bears. He does tend to take wickets, and that's always a great way to put a break on the run rate. Bears need one now.
Absolute steaming in. Just flicked off the hips for 1. Comfortable single in the end. Yeah, he's only gone wicketless in 2 of his appearances this season. 3 for last time out. Only really the Durham game, you would say, Brian, as well, where he was quite expensive. 1 for 42. Here he comes again. And then will just be flicked for a single.
Yes, Craig arrived at the Bears, of course, from Gloucestershire a couple of years ago, and didn't play a lot of T20 cricket for Gloucestershire. They didn't really see him as a performer in that format, but he came to the Bears very determined to make himself a member of the T20 side, and he's got the chance this year and has taken it so far.
Coming in from that long run from the edge of the circle. It's a big sweeping high shot. Has he got enough on it? Bears players trying to get back to it. It's just over the top of Bresnan. Try as he might, the big man seemed to hang in the air for quite a while. He just couldn't quite reach it. First real opportunity that Notts have given to the Bears.
Yes, Duckett got away with one there, and that's no criticism of him. That's what you do in T20, isn't it? Especially in the power play. A big top edge. Just thought it was going to hold up enough for Bresnan to get under it, but not quite.
Oh, just over the top of the fielder as Duckett smacked it away through the offside. Long chase for Bresnan, but he won't reach it. And it will be another boundary. The Notts are just beginning to get themselves comfortable and moving. So in the 4th over. Notts 43 for no loss, beginning to put the foot down a little bit. As Miles strikes again. And fielder, oh, it's a good stop. Good stop, and they were thinking about another run. Alex Hales saying no to Duckett. Decent fielding in the end, down in the deep.
Yes, Notts will be pleased with this. A bold decision by the Bears to bowl first.
Tim Bresnan coming back on from the opposite end. Need a bit of a breakthrough here. Duckett has just got them going. 44 for no loss through 4. Started well with just 6 from the opening over. Round the wicket. Alex Hales was backing up, thinking about the sharp single, thought better of it.
Well bowled by Bresnan. I think he took a bit of pace off that. Duckett really looking to attack every ball, and when Alex Hales is being outscored, you know somebody's going pretty well.
Here's Bresnan. Cut away this time. There is a fielder down there. Sharp throw in, limiting them just to the single.
I'm pleased to say that Ollie Stone's with us in the box. He'll be coming on commentary very soon, so thanks very much to him for joining us. big pity that he's not out there playing, of course, and bowling. But Ollie will be back as fast and good as ever, no doubt about that.
Bresnan back over the wicket, and Hales has absolutely launched it. It's a pretty long rope out there towards the Ollie stand, but he's beaten it with a full maximum, just rocked back beautifully. Didn't seem like it was that short to be able to play that kind of shot, but you can see just getting that left foot out the way.
Yeah, just delightfully clipped over points. The 6 brings the 50 up in just 27 deliveries, and there's a few warning lights flashing here for the Bears.
Could do with a wicket. That's a decent ball from Bresnan. It's pitched a little bit shorter into the body. 51 for no loss. Hales has 24 of them, Duckett 27. Both off just 14 deliveries each.
I don't think it helps the Bears, Mikey. There's a colour clash out there. They wouldn't allow this in football, would they? Both teams in yellow.
Oh, he's had another go, Hales. There was a fielder down there, but it's way over the top of him. And he's just taking this away from the Bears at the moment. Impressive start from Notts Outlaws. Not a huge boundary over to his leg side, but he found that with ease.
Yeah, I think Bresnan might be just disappointed there. He just drifted a bit to leg side, and Hales spooned it over mid-wicket. Shortish boundary when the bowling is to the right-hander from the Birmingham end. 57 without loss from 4.5 overs. Duckett 27, Hales 30. This is exactly the start that the Outlaws wanted.
Rhodes just had a little word there with Tim Bresnan before he bowls this delivery. It was Fuller. Away, there is a fielder down there. It will be just a single. And 58 for no loss at the 5 over mark.
And this is certainly when captains earn their salary, isn't it? Because Will Rhodes has got to fathom a way to stop this onslaught. He's got Jake Lintott, of course, to come, who has become, even in only his second season with the Bears, central to the bowling plans in T20. And the question is, for Will Rhodes, how soon he gets Lintott on. Obviously, we need to break this partnership, but he will want to keep Lintott in the bank as well. He wants to do both of those things.
Yes.
So which one should he do, Mike?
He's better placed to decide than I. This is Miles to continue. Oh, he was unfortunate there after bottom edge of the bat. Nearly got a play on. As you saw on your screen, I want you to get involved this evening. If you're following the Bears on social media, use the hashtag #UBears at Warwickshire CCC on Twitter and Instagram, Warwickshire County Cricket Club on Facebook as well. Send those photos in of where you are watching and listening this evening. And any lucky omens that you might have that might be able to draw a wicket. Craig Miles, again rather full, and whipped away, and it will reach the boundary as well. Well, they're struggling to stem the flow at the moment.
Yeah, it was just a tiny matter of inches over pitched. I think Craig Miles going for the Yorker there, which is obviously always a good ball, but if you just get it slightly over pitched, then it can just be flicked away, and Duckett did exactly that, and the fine leg is up. So at the moment the Outlaws finding all the gaps in the field in this power play.
Miles, again that's gone high, and again it's going to go over the rope, and it's another maximum. And they are continuing this charge, Notts Outlaws. Beautiful shot. We mentioned that it's not the deepest of boundaries on that side. But again, Duckett found it comfortably. He's hit a couple in that kind of region, Brian.
Yeah, he worked Danny Briggs very effectively down to fine leg and long leg. That's the area he's plundered. And Craig Miles and Will Rhodes having a chat. They're still not sending fine leg all the way back, but they have moved long leg a bit finer.
Yeah, all the deep fielders on the leg side. And that was Fuller and pushed into the offside, and again Hales was backing up. Just for a moment, there was a potential for Sam Hain to go for the shy at the stumps.
It's a great level of T20, isn't it, Mikey? Yorkshire all out for 80 odd on Wednesday night, not 69 without loss in the 6th over today.
This is Miles again, and again just flipped off the pads, and good chase down by the boundary. A good bit of fielding to hold them to just a couple. See on your screen, Duckett just whipping it away. There were 2 fielders going for it, and a good dive there in the end from Adam Hose. Miles with the final ball of the over. And Duckett comfortably enough just to prod it back towards him. 71 for no loss at the end of the 6th.
Yes, that's not an ideal power play from the Bears from a bowling point of view, is it? But they would just have to hold their nerve, and that's what they can do. G20s have been turned around very quickly many times, and a wicket or 2 can very quickly turn the tide. But Notts obviously have got a great foundation here with plenty of batting to come, so this is a good test for the Bears. And Will Rhodes has turned back to Danny Briggs, whose first over was effective, went for just 6, but then in his second Ben Duckett took to him a bit and went for 21. So Danny Briggs, we're trying to break this stand now, 71 without loss after 6.
We'll just get Danny's first ball of this over, and then I think Brian is going to step out. A little short one, and they'll scamper through for a single. Thank you very much, Brian. Good to see you as ever. And the Bears in need of wickets, and a man joining us who's taken plenty in his time, Ollie Hannon-Dalby, joining us on Bears Den TV.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Tough start this, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
another big swinger. There are fielders out there. Oh, what a take!
What a catch.
That is sensational. Matt Lamb saw it flying towards him, had to scamper a long way across, and that is an unbelievable piece of fielding, and just when they needed the breakthrough, it has been delivered, and a great return for Danny Briggs as well.
Yeah, Duckett going for his sweep again there. Lammy's covered, I reckon, 20-25 yards, and then taken a great diving catch. Look at this. Great catch from Lammy. Oh, brilliant catch.
Superman flying through the air.
Not known for his athleticism, old Lammy. There's a few jokes about his legs being on the wrong way around and whatnot. He's a terrific lad, but yeah, from time to time he can look like a pensioner in and around the changing room. So that is a terrific bit of work. In front of the Hollies as well, that is unbelievable. And a little bit, obviously they've got off to a great start there. Hales and Duckett are fantastic players, and often little things like that can just sort of turn the game in your favour. So hopefully now new batter coming in, going to find it difficult, and we can get a few wickets back to back.
It was a positive score in the end from Ben Duckett. Good time to take a wicket as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Brian mentioned, Briggsy, you know, fair play to him. They got hold of him one over there, but he's ever so reliable, and taken yet another wicket in the last campaign for us.
Can he follow it up? Batsman did cross, so Hales on strike. Just working it away for the single. Throw in for Miles. It's Ben Slater who's in at 3.
Yep, another left-hander. He's a fine player. He's Ben, probably more a red ball player, but certainly did well last game. I think he got 50 odd yesterday for Nottinghamshire, so be interested to see how he plays it here, but probably rightly so. We've got a mid-wicket and we're trying to squeeze a few dot balls to the new batsman, and if we can bowl a nice tight over here, that puts a bit more pressure on Hales.
Briggs to continue. Just whipped away. There's a fielder in position. Dot ball.
Yeah, like I say, if we can squeeze a few dots on the new batter here, it puts pressure on him, but it also puts pressure on Hales, which is exactly what the Bears are after. like I say, hopefully we can nick a few wickets here, albeit they've had a good power play.
Because that Ethan Brooks coming out just to take over for a moment.
Ed Pollock there has just gone off the field.
Ball just bounced up on him, fielding the last one, didn't it?
Yeah, I'll be honest, they're absolutely horrible. Those ones at short fine leg and short third man off the spinners, you can hear them fizzing when they're coming at you. They come off the thick outside edge. You have no idea which way they're going to spin. I'm not the greatest fielder, and I've absolutely no confidence near those things. But yeah, it looks like Polly's maybe just knocked a scab off or done something there. So hopefully be back out in a minute.
Yeah, I hope that's nothing too serious. Whether he just jarred a finger or something.
Yeah. Brilliant over there by Briggs, though. One for 4 off that over, was it, or something similar? Great over.
Yeah, just the 3 from it in the end, actually. And the wicket. Ben Duckett, 39 off 20 deliveries, 4 4s and 2 6s. He was going for a third maximum until he picked out Matt Lamb.
Yeah, to be fair, he hit the sweep nicely, didn't he? If it wasn't for a great catch by Lammy out there, I think he'd probably got another boundary there, but he's played the sweep lovely tonight. As we get the Lintonator on, old Jakey Lintott. He's had a week out, he had to isolate, bless him, because he had some COVID symptoms, and he's into the attack here. This pairing of Briggs and Lintott has been a very nice pairing for us so far this year, hasn't it? It's taken plenty of wickets and they look hard to handle, so hopefully more of the same. It is a used pitch, albeit it's a hybrid, so hopefully we might see a bit of spin here for Linters.
Well, he talks about, I saw him talking in the other week about mystery spin, and he enjoys being referred to as a mystery spinner.
Yeah, he's got lots of variations, all the sort of wrist spinners do. Obviously he's different, he's left armour. Practicing against left arm wrist spin is something it's very hard to do. How do you practice against that? And not many people bowl it, so he's got that different angle coming from left arm over, and being a wrist spinner is something very unusual.
Well, talking of how you practice against it, you clearly do. Can you pick him?
You know what? I've not faced Linters that much. I think I'll pick him okay. Oh, big shot from Hales there.
Yeah, Hales certainly did pick him. Oh, he's going to pick out the fielder though. Brilliant take by Sam Hain.
Great hands there by Haney at long on. Looked like Hale's got quite a big chunk of that, if I'm honest, and it was a good catch out there at long on. Just like I said, two wickets. Obviously, they had a great power play, but 2 wickets out of it, and Bears are well back into this.
It's always the way, isn't it? When one falls, you can generally get another falling pretty quickly, and suddenly the game looks very different. 2 wickets down.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously two great players from there. In Duckett and Hales. Hales can be incredibly destructive, as batters all over the world know. So great to get him so early on in Linters' spell. Like I say, great catch by Haney out there, just kept his feet inside the rope. Cool as a cucumber, Haney. But yeah, 2 new batters now. Hopefully, just like the over before, we can squeeze these 2 newies. Slater's only just brand new to the crease, so he's not going to be too sure what's going on right now. So hopefully, albeit Samit's got loads of experience, we can squeeze a few dry ones out here, and as you mentioned, it's a very different game then.
Samit Patel coming in. 75 for 2. It's been a dramatic last couple of deliveries, really. We were just talking about picking the spin. Alex Hales clearly thought he could pick it. And Todd again. Gets it back. With no run. He'll be delighted with the way he started here.
Yeah, to be fair, I think he's absolutely delighted just to be out of isolation. I think he was bouncing around the walls of his flat, so it's great to see him back out there doing a great job for the Bears.
Just whipped away for a single.
Brings Samit Patel on strike now. Samit has got a humongous amount of experience. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's the most capped T20 domestic cricket in the country, up there with someone like Luke Wright or something like that. So he's seen it all before, he's done it all before. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it here. It won't surprise me if he just knocks it around for a little bit. Hopefully we can squeeze a few dry overs here, and hopefully maybe sneak a few wickets as well.
It's that element, isn't it, of having lost a couple of wickets in years gone by. As Top plays that, it's just whipped away for a single. Teams might slow it down, but it doesn't tend to happen too often now in T20 Blast.
No, I mean the days of 160 being a good score are gone, I'm afraid. It's 190, maybe 200 is par these days, which didn't give you much respite as a bowler. The people try to hit you at the park pretty much exclusively. But I suppose from a Notts point of view, the luxury they've got here with such a good start is they can afford potentially a few overs going for 5 or 6 and still be at a pretty good rate. I mean, they're pretty close to 10s at the moment, which is still pretty good.
Another very economical over though. Just the 4 from it. 78 for 2. Wicket in there as well.
And the skipper, Will Rhodes, bring himself on here now. Rhodes has got a little bit of a golden arm this year, and touch wood, that continues again this match. But in red ball cricket and in T20 cricket, he's picked up some absolutely brilliant wickets for us so far this year. So hopefully that continues, and we've got a wicket in the last 2 overs, so hopefully we can get one more here and keep skittling them.
2 for 11 against Durham. His best bowling figures of the Vitality Blast this season. 2 men again out on the hook, around the wicket, and a little bit wide.
Yeah, not his greatest delivery, and I think I'm probably see what Rhodes is trying to do there. There's a big leg side boundary. He's got a bit of a spinner's field with all these 3 out on the leg side, so he's clearly trying to bowl a tight line and try to get the batter to hit him out to the leg side boundary, just not quite getting it right there.
It's again better line this time. He'll be whipped away for a single. They were running hard. Good fielding by Pollock down in the deep. I think it's, Ollie, what's referred to as the commentator's curse when you big up Will Rhodes and that first delivery goes down leg side.
No, I'm still backing him. He's a fine bowler, Will. He's slightly unusual, runs it back into the right hander. He's just, like I say, he's got a knack of picking up some lovely wickets here, so hopefully it continues. Now the old switcheroo here, back obviously right hander on strike, so all the leg side goes out to the short side here. Rhodes is obviously just trying to bowl nice tight over.
Back over the wicket, squeezed away off the edge.
Craig Miles out in the deep here. It was always going to be a tough act to stop 2 there, but he does a nice bit of work. But yeah, 2 runs to Samit.
Well, given the way the first 6 overs went, I won't be too worried about a couple of doubles at the moment, just slowing them right down.
Absolutely, like I mentioned, we'll be looking to try bowl a couple of tight overs here. We can go for 7s and 6s, that's ideal for us right now.
Just a single from Patel into the offside.
Rob Yates doing a bit of fielding there. Yates is coming today for Carlos Braithwaite. Nice to see Yates is in the side. He's been out ill for the last few weeks, so it's great to see him back. Obviously an exciting young cricketer, and hopefully get to see him with the bat a bit later on. I'm not sure, he bowls some useful off spin. I'm not sure if we'll see him, but he does bowl some nice off spinners as Rhodes comes in again.
Back around the wicket for Will Rhodes. We send our very best to Carlos.
Absolutely, I'm sure he's watching, Carlos. So get well soon, big lad. Hopefully see you back out there very, very soon.
What does it do for the dressing room when you lose, I guess, his experience more than anything, and so late in the day before the game?
Yeah, obviously it's a shame, but he's a fantastic bloke, fantastic cricketer. He's experienced with the ball and with the bat and in the field. He's just a very experienced, good cricketer to have around. But it's an exciting opportunity as well for young lads to step up. I mean, Milo's just bowled. I'm not sure Milo's bowled much in the power play as yet this campaign, so Milo's just bowled there in the power play, bowled pretty well, and obviously it gives Rob a chance as well to show us his skills, which is exciting.
Ethan Brooks is still on. Will Rhodes comes in again. This one's squirted away, square of the wicket. On the offside. Through for 1, 85 for 2, through 9. Again, pretty tidy in the end.
Yeah, and went for 7, I think, that over. So I think the Bears will take that at the moment, given, as you mentioned, what happened earlier. And yeah, Brooks is. Ethan Brooks is still on. I'm trying to see if we can see Ed Pollock down there on the bench. I can't see him, so hopefully his finger's okay, or whatever he's done. Love to see him with the bat again later. Him and Hosey have started a brilliant partnership, haven't they, at the top of the order for us, so hopefully we can see them whack it around again later.
So Patel is on 5 as Lintott continues. This time he hit a bit flatter, straight down to Sam Hain. It's the single.
Just expanding a bit there. Samet loves to play into out over extra cover, so it wouldn't have surprised me there if he was trying to hit the short side pocket over to the left of screen there. That wouldn't have surprised me at all. So he's obviously feeling like he's in now after his 6 balls and might try to play a bit more expansive on it now. We'll see how Slater plays it as well.
It's been a good 4 overs, I would say, from the Bears responding. And a good bit of fielding again to limit Knots down to a single.
And it's Lammy again. Who is this guy? As I mentioned, Lammy, sometimes you think he's got the body of a 90-year-old, but look at him diving around now. That is ridiculous. Must have had his Weetabix for breakfast.
You can say these things.
I always joke with Lammy about his body, it's funny.
Nobody else would dare.
Yeah.
Lintott. Patel wanted to come forward to that, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely looking to run down the track again. I think Lintott spotted him and it looked like a bit of a googly going across him to me and dragged his lengths back. So as I mentioned, I think Samet's probably eyeing up going into out over extra cover here. I don't think Slater's played a shot in anger yet, has he? So I'll be interested to see if he carries on just nudging it around or...
Yeah, 7 from 9. I think he was lining up a big sweep there, but didn't quite time it right.
No, and this is another touch wood. This is another nice over from Lintott here. Hopefully, if he can finish well, and another tight one for the Bears. And that run rate's dropping with each over, which is great work.
Yeah, just squeezed them, haven't they? Just kept them down. Lintott again is swept hard. Oh, it's just through the fingers. Opportunity.
Yeah, it was probably a bit short, I reckon, than Jake was intending to, but it was a good hard pull there by Slater. Hit it really hard, if I'm honest. And I
Adam Hose.
Posey out there on the edge who just couldn't quite cling on, which is a shame. That'd have been another great time to get a wicket.
It's flat, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, really flat. As I said, he hit that hard.
I wonder if that's more difficult to pick out with more of the white seats on the far side. Lintott coming in again. This time just pushed through for a single. And he was coming in quickly. I say it was so flat, that one that was firing towards Hose. Had to try and get off the ground as well. It's not easy, is it?
No, it's not easy to time your jump there. If you need to get a jump in as well, it's difficult to know where the rope is, to time your jump, and as you mentioned, pick it out the seats. Are all things that people perhaps don't think about, but all things you have to try and do in the blink of an eye, really. Sometimes can be very tough fielding out there in white ball cricket. As we see Tim Bresnan come back into the attack from the City end. Again, employing similar tactics to Rhodes here with his leg side field out and coming around the wicket. It's going to try bowl a nice tight line, I reckon, to Slater, which he does. They nudge it right on the edge of the ring. It's a good bit of work there by Milo stopping too, because that's the awkward kind of length. If it just lands on the edge of the 30-yard circle, where they can sometimes sneak 2.
I think Slater was looking for 2. I don't think Samet Patel was ever looking for the second.
Slater fancied it, and I don't mean anything by this at all, but I'm not sure Samet was that interested, which is fair enough.
Well, as a fellow member of the slightly less athletic club, shall we say?
I think I'm in there. I think I'm in there as well.
I think I'd agree with him there. That was just a safe one. He will scamper through for a single this time.
Prezi asking there if that was LBW. I think it's probably just a leg by. I'm not sure. Probably looked a bit too high to me, that, to be LBW.
I used to play with a guy, Ollie, who would always shout 1 for the arm. Always 1 for the arm. No.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
I'm quite happy where I am, thank you. It's a long way back down the other end.
Yeah.
And when it's my end, it would be throwing to. Not a chance.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter from Bresnan. There's a fielder down there. It's a comfortable single.
Again, I think that's clever bowling from Brezzy. There's a big leg side boundary. I think that's a slow ball bouncer. So he's got his fine leg in. A bouncer would be a bit of a risk there because the top edge could easily fly down to fine leg. But I think it was a slow ball bouncer, bowling lovely to his field.
2 on the leg side, deep on the boundary. If Patel fancies having a hook again. It was full from Bresnan this time. Just comfortably played for another single. As they move to 99 for 2 knots. What do you make of this at this stage, just past the halfway mark?
Well, I mean, I'd love a few more wickets if I'm honest. They had a brilliant start, didn't they, Notts, and that run rate of almost 10 and over through the power play is helping them a little bit at the moment, because we have had a few dry overs, and they still have a pretty decent rate if I'm honest. As Brezzy bowls a sharp bouncer there, he bowls a slow ball bouncer earlier in the over and bowls a surprise bouncer there to Slater, and I think it's safe to say he was a bit surprised by that Slater and playing miss. Good dot ball from Brezzy.
He was interested for a moment there, wasn't he? That fizzed its way through. Again, it's high, just off the toe end of the bat. Comfortable single.
Again, some nice bowling from Brezzy, bowling up to his leg side field there.
The 100 is up as we go past the 11 over mark. Should say we want to mention that the Bears Pod Blast is back for a 4th series.
Oh, I snuck that plug in there. I didn't even have to pay him for that, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez, he just... What a pro. What a pro. Yeah, we're back again, me and Rich. Rich making me sound very good. Again for a 4th year, and we've just had Jake Linter on, and we've had Carlos Braithwaite on this week, and Carlos was absolutely brilliant. Barely had to ask him a question, and he was off chatting for hours, so he was brilliant character, Carlos, and yeah, he had a good hour with him on the Pod Blast, so check it out. As Rhodesy comes in again, and this time from the pavilion end.
Yeah, that you can download now, by the way, BBC Sounds, iTunes and Spotify.
I think this is where I'm supposed to say available on all good podcast providers. Is that the line you say?
Probably, yeah.
Available on all good podcast providers.
And some bad ones too.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
All roads then. 101 for 2. Slater and Patel seemingly set. It's cut away, and it will run away for 4. And maybe he just feels like he needs to up the momentum a little bit, Samit Patel.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, if I'm honest, thinking there's 9 overs left and Notts have 8 wickets in hand. This is potentially where you know, from then they've got loads of wickets in hand. Do they just go now? Do they put the foot down? And the more wickets you've got left, the sort of longer the death period is, really. So do they start having a dip now?
Rhodes over the wicket again. Patel back, and again he's cutting, and again he finds the boundary down towards the Raglan stand. This seems really in his wheel arc there.
Yeah, two good shots there by Samit. Rhodes looks a little bit disappointed there. Walking back, I think you can see what he's trying to do. He's got a big leg side boundary. He's perhaps looking to take the pace off it and bowl straight. But Samit just finding a little bit of width with those 2 deliveries and getting the cut away. Perhaps this time, hopefully, Rhodesy can use his big leg side boundary and get him off strike.
Here he comes. A little bit fuller this time, but again Patel able to play it off the back foot, just a single. Really comfortable Samit Patel, just rocking back on those last couple of deliveries.
Yeah, and this is what I mean, he's a fine bowler, isn't he? But this is, you know, what value he brings to a side as Samit. Bats well and bowls well. Yeah, he's been a brilliant cricketer for Notts for God knows how many years now. So fine cricketer as Rhodesy comes into Slater. So it'll be a bit more difficult for Rhodesy to the left-hander.
Fuller one.
Yeah, great Yorker. Rhodesy actually bowls brilliant Yorkers. I remember a few years ago we were playing Glenn Maxwell here. He was playing for Lancs at the time and played a ridiculous innings where it was pretty impossible to bowl that. Certainly for me anyway. And Rhodesy bowled some brilliant Yorkers at that game and got him out eventually. So Rhodesy's Yorkers are very good. But I mentioned it'd be a bit more difficult to left-hander because there's a short leg side boundary here for Slater. So it'd be interesting to see how Slater plays it.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant from Will Rhodes. Again he went full, and Slater trying to move back, trying to get it over the top. Straight to the fielder, and not to 3 down. And that's an important breakthrough from the skipper. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, not his favourite 2 balls there, Rhodesy, in the start of the over, but he's got a wicket here. Interesting from Slater, like I mentioned, there's a short leg side boundary there, but looking to go offside with that. Will's Yorker made into a bit of a low full toss, and a good catch at cover by Haney, was it? Oh, I'm not too sure who caught that. But yeah, lads will take a wicket here definitely, which brings Mullaney to crease, the the Notts captain. Again, another good player. Can definitely be dangerous. So it's important we start well against him.
Yeah, because they were just again they were looking set, weren't they? That was the point. Those two had got themselves comfortable and had just started to fire a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned before, a wicket changes things for Samet at this end. I'd be surprised if Samet looks to horn these first few balls off Danny Briggs for 6. He's just lost a wicket. Last thing they want to do is lose 2 in a row. So important over this. And as ever, we turn to the main man, Danny Briggs, cool as a cucumber. Hopefully we can bowl a nice tight over here and maybe get a wicket.
110 for 3. Briggs to bowl his 4th.
Yep, Samet just happy to get off strike there, as I thought he might. Be interested to see how Mullaney plays it, but probably looking to just nudge it around to start with, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they're going pretty well, Notts, haven't they? That first 5 overs or so.
It's Nelson though. Nelson always gets you a wicket, doesn't it? Surely. Nelson's always good for a wicket.
Briggs round the wicket. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Bit of spin. Probably the first one we've seen that spun, actually.
Mullaney just got caught, didn't he? Prodding forwards.
Yeah, genuine spinner there from Brigger. This one's a bit faster and a bit flatter. Quite often though, you don't need every ball to rag. It just takes one to spin, and there's a bit of doubt in the batsman's mind, and hopefully we can make a mistake, or we can force a mistake out of the batsman. But lovely delivery there from Brigger.
Probably quite happy to get down the other end, Mullaney, having seen that first one.
Yeah.
Patel just works this into the onside for a single.
But we've used this pitch before. It's a hybrid pitch, which means it's got a few strands of plastic woven into it every couple of inches. If you go down and touch it, you can see sort of strands of plastic sticking out of it, a bit like the fake hair I'm going to need in a few years' time when all mine falls out. So it means it holds together a lot more. You can use the pitch for, I think this is our 4th or 5th game on it. But it's used, so there's potentially going to be a bit of spin there, as we saw from that delivery.
Because again, Patel might look at that spin and feel like batting under the lights a little bit later on might be a bit harder with that potential turn.
But again, Briggs' finished his spell there, 4 overs for 35. There was just that 1 over in the middle that he got a bit of tap, didn't he? But still fine figures there from Briggs, ever reliable Mr. Briggs. As his spin twin, Jake the Lintonator, comes on the other end. I'm sure all the school kids back we had Jake, as I mentioned on the pod blast, and there were some brilliant questions coming in from the school head teacher and the school kids, so hopefully they're all listening back home and cheering him on.
Feels like a finely poised stage of the game here. Lintott. It's gone for the big hit. There is a fielder coming under it. Hayne! Oh, just short, I think.
That is a brilliant effort by Haney. Again, Samet's come down, clossed it a little bit. It's very easy there for the fielder at long on to just stand off it and take the easy single, but he's attacked it well there and tried to take the catch, which is a wicket there is going to help us a lot more than just a single. So it's a great effort that by Haney.
Yeah. Here's Lintott once more. That one's going to be spooned up, and another super take. And a big wicket once more. And Mullaney goes.
Yeah, great wicket that. Steve Mullaney, fine cricketer, and could be very dangerous for them, and just take a leading edge over there to cover. I don't know if I can't quite tell if that's a googly or not, but certainly angling across him, and it's a great catch there by Rhodesy.
Again, they're difficult, aren't they? It loops up and you've got to move across quickly.
Yeah, almost does you for lack of pace. T20, you're expecting everything to come at 100 miles an hour. To get a little loopy, almost underarm like that can often make you look very stupid. So, yeah, well done. Rhodesy made some good ground up there. And again, it's a good fielding position. Rhodesy there could easily be sat on the edge of the ring giving him the single, but no, the new batter in, we try to squeeze, he's 5 yards in off the ring. And that's let him get to that catch. If he'd have been sat right on the ring, there's no chance he'd have got there. So nice attacking field placement there by both Jake and the skipper himself. As we get a slip in, Peter Trigo coming in. Again, another very, very, very experienced cricketer. And Jake's obviously seen a bit of spin and thought he's going to get a slip in, and then squeezing a little bit more. He's got a tight mid-wicket in as well as that tight cover I just mentioned, so really try to squeeze.
A little bit shorter and slower that time, and able just to whip it away for the one.
Yeah, that mid-wicket I mentioned has come from 45 or short fine leg, so there was a big gap there, and probably unsurprisingly Trigo's tried to get the sweep out first ball and take advantage of that gap, but just a single out to Milo as Saurabh Patel comes back on strike.
Patel will work it away again just for a single. Give credit to Notts actually in this last little spell, because they've just kept that scoreboard ticking a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, and I think that's, like I mentioned before, that's the benefit of such a good power play, is that overs of maybe 4 or 5 overs, 4 or 5 runs don't affect you that much when you've had, you know, such a good power play.
And Todd again will pick out Will Rhodes. Nearly got a sore one.
Yeah, nice dot there. It was quite wide and quite full to a short offside boundary there, so I think Jacob can consider himself a tad lucky there. He's got away with that, so we'll take that dot any day of the week as he comes into Trigo. Another sweep, hard sweep this time to Craig Miles out at deep square leg, who does brilliantly, I'll be honest. Milo, fast bowler, puts me to absolute shame. I'm an absolute donkey in the field. Milo is a proper athlete. I think he's probably our best fielder out there with maybe Sam Haynes. So brilliant work there out in the deep line, Milo, to make it only 1 run.
Well, Ollie, thank you very much indeed for the time being. We'll see you in the...
Yeah, are you downgraded? Who's on
West? Just a legal goal, actually.
Oh, yeah, downgrade.
More from Ollie Hundelby when the Bears are batting. Ollie Stone stepping in with us. A good bit of fielding again as Craig Miles is back from the City end. What are you making of this at the moment?
Yeah, obviously they Notts got off to a great start, and like Ollie said, I'd like to a few more wickets, but to get 4 in the manner that we have after the start they had is, yeah, it's very pleasing. And Milo got some big wickets the other night, so hopefully he can do it this over as well.
And he comes again, struck powerfully, straight back down the ground, and it will be a boundary. Hit hard, hit straight. There was a fielder trying to come round, not able to reach it.
Yeah, already from Trigo's first few balls, he looks like he's going to come out and be the aggressor. Obviously, maybe Samet might look to knock it around a bit and get Trigo on strike to have a dip.
Oh, that was full. A little bit of a wild swipe from Peter Trigo. Miles 2 overs, 0 for 22 before this one. Lintott has 1 more, 2 for 18 so far. Briggs bowled out, 1 for 35. Bresnan has 1 more to go, 0 for 26. He's just trotting in from the boundary into a short third man. Again, a wild swipe and good pace on that.
Yeah, he really got some good bounce the other day. A couple of his wickets actually just seemed to, like you say, beat the batsman for a bit of pace and find the edge. Obviously, Trigo having a big swipe at that, and sort of probably fortunate he didn't get an edge on that, because that might have gone the distance.
Miles once more. This time he does get the connection on it, Peter Trigo. The race is on and the ball will win it. And it's another boundary. Didn't seem to hit it that hard, but gathered pace as it was heading towards the hollies.
Yeah, sort of a tricky situation. Do you try and bowl to the long boundary, but then it creates a few more pockets of space for 2s, maybe 3s, or yeah, do you try and let them attack the short side?
He's gone for the short side, but we'll pick out Ethan Brooks, who is still on actually. He's been on an awful long time now.
Yeah, hopefully the blow to Pollock isn't too serious, and he can still hold a bat. He's obviously an important member of the team for us, and can get us off to the start that Notts had in
So 128 for 4 at the 15 over mark. Jake Lintott with his final over. We'll cut away just for a single.
Yeah, again, Jake's been very dangerous tonight. Unfortunate not to have a third with that drop catch by Adam Hose, but be looking to get another one here and get hopefully the set batsman out.
Big hit that Patel's gone for, and he knew as soon as it left his bat that it was flying all the way over the rope.
Yeah, he does love that extra cover region. He's off the spinners. He's very good at opening up that offside and doing what he's done there.
First real time of the night that a little bit of pressure maybe applied to Jake Lintott. Just fired that one into the pitch a little bit. They were thinking of a second there, Notts just settling for the single in the end.
Good bit of fielding by Craig Miles out there. Like Ollie was saying, very athletic and quick to the ball. There's not many times you'll take an extra run to him.
Lintott again. Oh, he went for it. Oh, brilliant bit of work. Absolutely brilliant bit of work. Trigo came storming down the pitch. And that's some stunning bit of wicket keeping.
Yeah, Michael Burgess had it again. Did it the other night off Jake, and yeah, he's done it there again. It's probably a little bit more flight on that one, and it looked like it was the googly, and just seemed to outdo Trigo there, and yeah, another important wicket for the Bears.
6th stumping of the Vitality Blast this year. That's not bad going, is it?
No, it's not. He's been on form in the red ball as well. Said on commentary the other night he stands up to people that I wouldn't even dream of standing up to. But you can see that the hard work pays off.
And again, a new man in a key time as well. And the Bears have done brilliantly actually just to keep this score down, because around 5-6 over mark you're kind of looking at 200 plus.
Yeah, and it also shifts a bit more pressure onto Samit Patel here. Does he decide to carry on being a little bit more aggressive, or does he think he has to sort of knock it round and sort of rebuild again? It can, if you lose another wicket here and have 2 new men in, it can create a problem.
This one just whipped away for a single. End of the 16th, 138 for 5, and the end of Jake Lintott as well. Really impressive figures from him.
Yeah, another fine spell of bowling from Jake. Yeah, pretty obvious he's been a key member to our side this year, and we missed him in those games where he unfortunately had to isolate.
Yeah, 3 foot for him tonight. A really important one as well in the context of the game when he came on.
Yeah, and like I was saying, how important he is to our side. His worth has been shown by
Rhodes. That was full. It was very full.
Yeah, it's going to be a free hit.
No ball. Burgess had no chance of getting to it either.
No, he didn't. Yeah, not the greatest ball from Will. He'll be disappointed with that, and yeah, an extra challenge of a free hit here, and also the annoying thing of, because the batsman didn't cross the field, has to stay the same. So yeah, big delivery here for Will.
Patel just looking round. Couple on the hook, one out on the offside. He smashed it through his own teammate just for the single. Good response from Will Rhodes.
Yeah, you take that. Like I say, free hits are never nice to bowl, and yeah, just a single is probably the best result.
Gets Patel off strike as well, and the new man Lyndon James facing. Rhodes again. Just nerdled for a single. A fine one. Scoreboard ticks over to 146 for 5. Jake Lintop, by the way, 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 28. So, given the stage of the game when he started bowling, his best figures this year were 4 for 20 against Northants. If the Bears go on to win this, as Rhodes fires one through, given the context of how he bowled in this game, might even go above that 4 for 20.
Yeah, and like I was going to say before that full toss from Will, that his hard work this year and his vital performances has earned him a wild card pick in the 100. So he'll obviously be really pleased with that, and yeah, deserves it for all the hard work he's put in.
Yeah, big month, isn't it, with the Vitality Blast, County Championship coming back, well, 100 at the end of the month, international cricket around as well. Beautiful times.
And even better that the fans can enjoy it as well.
What we didn't want to see and enjoy was Samit Patel whacking that one away for 4. Again, he's so strong off the back foot.
Yeah, and again that extra cover region, that's probably his go-to. Even with that long boundary out there, he backs himself if he gets enough on it that he'll reach the boundary.
Just gets the front leg out the way so quickly. It gives him the room just to sweep it round. The way batting has changed in the last decade or so.
I was about to say that the amount of time that certain batsmen seem to have is frightening. I know when I'm down the other end, I don't have that much time. I make it look a lot quicker than it is sometimes. But yeah, like you said, the timing that they have and how he can access that offside so easily.
It's again, and Patel again, similar area, didn't quite get hold of this one. Just the single. That last boundary brought up the 150. 150 for 5. Knots at the end of 17. What's a good score from here? What would you be happy enough to chase in this situation?
I mean, it seems still a very good wicket, even though it's been played on so many times. Probably look here, if you can keep them under 170, you'd be chuffed, I reckon, with the start they had. I guess maybe if they get away in one of the overs, 180, you'd still take that. Hopefully, with the lights coming on, it means that maybe the spinners won't get as much grip as maybe Lintott and Briggs have had this innings.
Final over for Craig Miles. It was full, it was well played, just the single, a sharp one. Miles, none for 32 now, off 3.1.
Be interesting to see what Will Rhodes does here, whether he bowls himself out or tries to squeeze in an over from somewhere else. Maybe Yates or Lamb with a bit of part-time spin if he thinks if it is spinning.
Patel able just to hook this one down to Sam Hain. Well positioned. Saw a couple of overs ago he was close to getting a catch as well, coming in from a similar position.
Yeah, clever bowling from Miles there, digging it in a little bit and making Patel hit it out to the longer part of the ground, and I'm pretty sure that will be the way he goes about his over here.
Miles once more. It was a sharp one, but just dealing with it in the end. But just a single. He's only gone wicketless in one match so far in the Blast this season, Craig Miles. That was way back at the start of June at Yorkshire.
Yeah, it was great to see him the other night picking up his career best figures, and he's the sort of guy that will thrive on this sort of situation, bowled in these tricky overs. So like, it's great to see him picking up wickets, and hopefully he doesn't go wicketless this game, and Patel picks the man out in the deep here.
Oh, a good ball. Really full from Miles, trying to find that Yorker length, knowing that Patel wants to be able to rock back and try and cut it away.
Yeah, he cleared his front leg there, but yeah, like you say, the fact it was towards that Yorker length, it meant that that Samit couldn't get under the ball and elevate it over that offside.
And he's got 2 more deliveries then, Craig Miles, to find a wicket. There's the penultimate one, and Patel again backing away, just did enough to get it down to fine leg for a single. Mentioned a couple of overs ago, the one thing you really got to give credit to Notts is just the way they've kept that scoreboard ticking at times. Such a fast start in the first couple of overs, and then as the Bears fought back, they just kept it going ever so much.
Yeah, sort of the key in T20 cricket, they say the more dot balls that a team has. Oh,
big strike, and he'll beat the fielder. Lovely shot. Pretty straight from Samit Patel. And that's Craig Miles done. Unfortunate for him that he couldn't find that wicket.
Yeah, disappointing end to the spell for Craig there. He'll be disappointed he didn't quite get his Yorker in that time, and offered a bit of length for the batsman to climb into.
So 2 overs remaining. Bresnan has 1. Will Rhodes has 1, but I think this is going to be Bresnan.
Yeah, he looks like he'll be bowling and trying to get Patel to hit it towards that long boundary. He's got fine leg and square leg inside the circle, and third man inside the circle, so you'd think he'd maybe pace off and try and get them to hit towards the bigger side.
Bresnan comes storming in, it's high, there is a fielder out there, should be out, and is. And what a key time to get rid of Samit Patel, the big danger man. Notts would have been hoping that he could have fired a few big boundaries in this last 2 overs, but Tim Bresnan returning with an important wicket.
Yeah, great time for Tim to pick up one there. I say the important batsman, the set batsman of Patel, obviously now gone. Hopefully we can squeeze a few dots, or if not, no boundaries in on the new batter here.
All that experience, because you mentioned the field placing that he'd set there. Couldn't afford to go too short and allow him to hook it leg side. Just invited him to go offside, and straight down the throat of the fielder. 158 for 6.
Yeah, maybe if the boys look back, they may thought they could have learnt from some of their balls today. They probably got hit to the shorter side when they could have gone to the longer side. I'm sure Graham Welsh will have his opinion as well, and the boys will debrief after. But yeah, great start from Bresnan, and looks like he's struggling with a bit of cramp. So fingers crossed that doesn't affect him for the rest of the over.
5 more deliveries to come. 158 for 6. He's off a bit of a shorter run-up, isn't he? And again, that's gone high. Fielder calling for it, and fielder claiming.
Great catch from Brooks there.
Ethan Brooks claiming it. 2 in 2 for Tim Bresnan, and he may be struggling with cramp, but he's making some important breakthroughs.
Yeah, again, taking the pace off. Bit fuller this time, but Lyndon James being dragged into that, trying to hit that short side and hit it straight up. And yeah, great catch from Ethan Brooks. It's never easy under the lights here.
Yeah, there's still a bit of natural light, isn't there? But the floodlights beginning to take over more and more. always one of those where it's hanging in the air as well, and now the crowd is just expecting you just to pouch it comfortably.
Yeah, especially swiping across it like that. It can put a bit of spin on the ball. Ollie mentioned earlier about those ones at short fine leg and short third man that have a bit of spin on it. Those can as well, and it'd have probably heard it fizzing on the way down. So yeah, great catch from Ethan.
Hat-trick ball then. 158 for 7. Well, he might be struggling to reach the wicket here, Tim Bresnan. The crowd will roar him in. Everybody on their toes. Get ready. And just whipped away. No single. Harrison and Fletcher. Experience of Tim Bresnan. I said right at the start of this, Ollie, I don't like him being called the old stager because he's technically younger than me, but even so, again, it's another good delivery from him, and it'll just be a single.
Yeah, like you say, it's having someone like Tim in the side that Rhodesy can sort of fall back on and go to is massive. Obviously, losing Carlos isn't ideal, but Tim stepped up tonight, and he's bowled some important overs this year and shown his worth.
Here comes Bresnan again then. A little bit fuller this time. Is he going to pick out the fielder? No, over the top. Super strike. Absolutely flew. And having got the first couple of deliveries right on the money, maybe a touch too full on that one.
I mean, as a bowler, you're not too far off executing what you want there, and first ball to hit that for 6 is a great shot, but like you say, Tim probably will be a little bit disappointed.
Harrison just working this one, cutting fine. Lamb with the throw in. So 166 for 7. A very good over in the end, despite that big 6. A ball or so ago, and Tim Bresnan can be very proud of his evening's work.
Yeah, he's like I say, picked up those 2 wickets there to slow Notts down. Don't think be a very good over here from Rhodes if they keep him under 170, like I said, but anything, yeah, probably under 180 now. I think the Bears will be happy.
Yeah, given they were 58 for no loss off 5, as Rhodes goes flying through, will be hooked, but straight to Miles. And just the single. I mean, they're pretty much going to try and scamper for everything now, aren't they? So
yeah, they are. I think without being horrible, you probably look to go Fletcher's end, whichever end he's running to. He's probably the slower out of the 2.
Rhodes again, steaming in, full, and it went all the way through. What a good delivery.
Yeah, dotting any stage of the game, but especially in this over is key. And yeah, four more balls to go, and a few more of those, they might keep him under 170.
Tim Bresnan, by the way, 2 for 34 off his 4 in the end. As Rhodes comes steaming in once more, off the splice, and the fielder is waiting, and the fielder claims. Comfortable take. Will Rhodes, the skipper, strikes in the final over. And maybe momentum is just swinging the Bears' way here, as Notts Outlaws have just lost their way in the last couple of overs. Wickets have been falling quickly, and Will Rhodes will be very happy with the way this has turned out in the end.
Yeah, great delivery there from Will, and again a pretty straightforward catch, but yeah, it was nicely taken by Jake. You often see sometimes when teams get off to a flyer that people come in and it doesn't quite happen for them. So yeah, it's been a great comeback from the boys.
So Fletcher gone. In comes Rhodes once more. Premeditated scoop. That will fly away.
Yeah.
Inventive shot in the end from Harrison.
Great shot from Harrison. In his 3 balls, he's shown how dangerous he can actually be. Obviously, that 6 over mid wicket, and now that scoop for 4. He maybe should have come in a little bit earlier.
Last couple then for Will Rhodes. See the job through. Big hit. Big hit. There was a fielder out there, but he won't reach it. Over the rope it goes. Just for a moment, it looked like, I think it's Craig Miles down there. For a moment felt he was interested in it. But a massive strike in the end from Harrison.
Yeah, that's a big hit. Especially out to that long side. And it cleared the rope by, probably a couple of yards as well. So, massive hit. Be looking to go again off this last ball.
In comes Rhodes then. And it'll be struck. Oh, brilliant take. What a brilliant take.
Outstanding catch from Adam Hose there. He, like I said, he'd have been disappointed to drop that one earlier, but took a brilliant catch there, and great way to finish the innings.
Came at him flat. There's his delivery. You could see Calvin Harrison trying to get some room and scampering to his left-hand side. That's a super catch and a good way to finish the innings. And I think they'll generally be pretty happy with the way that turned out in the end, Ollie.
Yeah, like you say, after the start they had, to restrict him to that, well, yeah, I think they'll be very happy. It seems like it's still a good pitch, and we'll have to, hopefully see the Bears come out and knock it off.
Who really stood out for you in there? It was a difficult start, wasn't it? But
it was. Obviously the way Tim Bresnan bowled was
Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned previously, tonight we say thanks to the great efforts of 2 of the 3 Bears legends who finished their playing careers at the end of the 2020 season. Tim Ambrose, who sadly can't be with us this evening, and Jeetan Patel. Let's have a look at some of their finest moments.
Got a secret side in plain sight. Where the streets are empty, that's where we run. Everyday people do everyday things, but I can't be one of them. I know you hear me now. We are a different kind. We can do anything. We could be heroes. We could be heroes. Me and you. We could be heroes. We could be heroes. Me and you. We could
Ladies and gentlemen, first up of our legends then, a man who can't be with us this evening due to his relocation with his family to Australia. A player who made his debut in 2006 and went on to become one of the finest wicket-keeper batsmen of his generation. boasting 916 catches, 101 stumpings and 21 centuries to his name across all three formats. He also won the County Championship, the T20 Blast and 2 one-day cups with the Bears. Tonight, we recognise Tim Ambrose, and Tim has a personal message for us this evening from Australia.
Hi, sorry I couldn't be there today, but I would like to thank the club for the opportunity to say thank you to the members, the fans, the supporters, everybody involved in the club. Personally, it's been an incredible last 15 years, and I am very aware that I've shared that with so many people. There's been highs, lows, everything in between, and I know that so many of you have shared in that, and so many of you have helped make those occasions what they are. It's great to see so many people back at Edgbaston. There is no better place on the planet, in my opinion, than when the sun's shining and cricket's being played out in the middle. So I hope there's many, many, many more great days to come. I hope you all stay safe, look after yourselves, and I look forward to hopefully being able to see many of you again. So have a great day, good luck to everyone, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Cheers.
Tim Ambrose then from Australia, one of our retiring legends, and others alongside me. But before we talk to him, let's welcome the Warwickshire chairman, Mark McCafferty, who will present him with his commemorative silver bear. Show your appreciation, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for everything. Most of it wasn't in my time, but it's a legendary. The stats are unbelievable. Thanks, Mark.
Mark, you're going to have to take that away so I can talk to him because he hasn't got enough hands here. Oh, here we go. We're going to put them down. So before we talk to you, I mean, Mark just said there's some great stats. You arrived in 2009, of course, as an interim overseas player. You established yourselves as one of the finest spinners in the county game. 742 wickets in all formats of the game. County Championship winner, Blast winner, one-day cup winner, captain, in charge of the Division 2 Championship winning side in 2018, and a two-time PCA Most Valuable Player. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for Mr. Jeetan Patel. It must be quite strange, given last season there was nobody here. How does it feel to be back in front of the Bears faithful?
Oh, look, it's fantastic to see all the supporters, all the fans back at Edgbaston. I'm one of those. I love being here. I love it when the Bears play well. I love it when the crowd gets involved. The Ollie stand alone is an amazing feat. And during that test match recently, it was amazing to be here as well.
They've been incredibly noisy tonight. Just quick thoughts on that first innings. They pulled that back really well, didn't they?
A fantastic effort. I thought Hales and Duckett got off to a great start initially, but for the guys to take early wickets outside of their power play and then put pressure on Knott, so I think they've done a good job.
Let's go back to 2009 when it all started.
Let's not.
No, I mean, the debut itself was quite special, wasn't it?
Well, it was a weird one, yeah. There was no wickets involved, but, I was fortunate enough to get into a partnership with Trotty, and we set a total that we thought we could defend, but it ended up in a result that didn't suit us.
And in terms of how you settled into life as a Bear, I mean, it must have come quite quickly and quite comfortably for you to have stayed as long as you did?
I don't know. I think maybe the club keep getting me back. It was. I think I look at a marriage that worked. 2009 I bust my knee at the back end of the season, so I couldn't continue. But beyond that, it's a bit of a blur initially, but the back end was fantastic, and I'm so lucky to have played at this great ground.
How did the move initially happen? Who brought you over? How did that come about?
I think it was a combination of a few things. Like I was available all year. Ashley Giles wanted me here. Ian Westwood, the club captain, wanted me here, and the team sort of I think needed someone at the time, and I managed to fill that void. And look, I loved it. I really enjoyed my time in those early years, and I wanted to keep coming back. And beyond that, it's sort of, like I said, a bit of a blur because we tend to start win quite early, and then when we start winning, we start to enjoy our beers, and we'd love to be in the Ollie stand like everyone else. But no, it was a fantastic season, fantastic 11 years. I owe a lot to this club, and I owe a lot to this crowd as well.
We've just done the roll call of all the things you won and some of the great moments. For you, can you pick a couple of those really great moments?
Winning titles at Edgbaston is probably one of the biggest things. I think winning anything in front of a crowd like this is amazing. Finals day here, losing in a finals day was good as well. It was a learning curve in that. Winning Division 2, yes, it was Division 2, but in front of our home crowd. There's so many things that were amazing. Seeing all my teammates do well and being part of that success was huge for me and huge for my growth as a person.
And this crowd is something else, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best crowd in the country. Birmingham supports a lot of their sport very, very well, but especially cricket. We're very lucky at Edgbaston to have an amazing stadium, but also amazing supporters.
You've brought us all a tremendous amount of pleasure over your years. You're doing it again now with England, which we love to see, swapping the fern for the Three Lions. It works for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for Tim Ambrose, who's not here, but also Chetan Patel. And just so you're aware, we haven't forgotten Ian Bell. He couldn't be here tonight, but in 2 weeks' time, when we play Worcestershire, we'll be honouring Ian on that Friday night as well. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Chetan Patel.
Taking the field. Bears to chase 178. Mikey Burrows and Ollie Hannon-Dalby with you. Ollie will be with us for the first 10 of this chase. How do they go about this?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's lovely to see Ed up at the end here. He took a blow to the finger in that fielding performance. Not entirely sure what he's done, but obviously not too serious if he's able to open the batting. Obviously, I think it'll just be more from the same from these two. Hose and Pollock have sort of formed a pretty formidable opening partnership here at the top of the order, so I think they'll look to take advantage of this power play, certainly, much like Notts did, and probably attack that short boundary. But I mean, from the bowling point of view, 177 for 9 after that power play of I think 71, 72 runs. I think lads did incredibly well there to basically go for 100 runs in 14 overs. I thought it was a pretty good effort.
Ed Pollock with a high score this year of 62 against Notts, actually, at Trent Bridge. 46 against Derbyshire and 33 not out the other night. Adam Hose 46 not out the other night. 32 against Notts in the reverse game as well. But a bit of spin to start us off. And a lovely strike away off the hips and a chase and a good bit of fielding.
Yeah, that's a great bit of work out there by Calvin, I think. Calvin Harrison, the leg spinner. Again, a few bombs at the end. Good bit of work out there in the deep, but unsurprisingly here, Notts have opted to start with spin to Polly and to Jose, and probably looking to use that big side boundary, much like the Bears did.
Patel again, this time just fended away. So it's always hard, isn't it, to, when you're chasing, feel like you've got to try and smack everything. Just keep that scoreboard ticking. Knock off the runs one by one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, you'll no need to panic too early. Saw from a few there, lad Samet in particular, who, you know, probably only 7 off 7 balls, but you can soon catch up. There's a short side, it's a good pitch. You get a few bad balls, and all, before you know it, you know, 20 off 12 balls type thing. So yeah, no need to panic straight away.
Patel again, still going around the wicket. He's just waiting for Adam Hose to finish a bit of gardening.
Yeah, he's doing a hell of a lot of scratching here. Come on, Hosey. Got homes to get to. As he sets himself here.
Patel's delivery was prodded backwards by Adam Hose.
And much like with his batting, Patel, very canny customer. Just slight changes of pace, slight changes of angle in the crease. He's very tricky customer.
And that's a big hit. That's an impressive hit. Just plugged a little bit in the ground, but it will be the first boundary of the innings. Gave himself the room, knew the field was up on that offside, and comfortably carved it away for 4.
Yeah, gave himself a bit of room there. But to be honest, if I was Sam Patel there, I'd be slightly disappointed with my long off, because there's a bit of moisture out there, and I think that ball probably plugged out there at a deep extra cover, and I'm not sure the fielder could have probably got there, if I'm honest. But
oh, straight back to him though, and Hose has gone, so he strikes a boundary, and the very next delivery, just playing forwards to it, and a comfortable take by Samit Patel, and it was short and sweet from Adam Hose.
yeah, like I mentioned, Samit, very canny customer, and probably just took a little bit of pace off this one after the shot before, and Hosey unfortunately chips one back to him, and Samit takes a nice catch there. Yeah, like I mentioned, tricky customer Samit, so difficult to play in this power play. But this brings in the skipper, Will Rhodes. So interestingly now we've got 2 left-handers in, and as I've mentioned a few times, there's a short boundary, so perhaps with 2 left-handers in, the Notts Outlaws will look to take advantage of the long boundary one side on the offside here to these 2 left-handers. As Matt Carter is going to be double spin, he's going to open the bowling from the pavilion end with his off-spinners.
He found his form in recent games, Will Rhodes. 45 against Durham, 79 against Leicestershire the other week, 36 in there as well. Some big contributions. It's Pollock who's facing though.
The 2 men out at the moment, they've got a deep backward square and a deep mid-wicket protecting the short side. That first delivery really quite slow from Carter, obviously going to try to change his pace here to Polly.
Sharply through as well, wasn't it, that one? I wonder how much, we were talking about a few of those deliveries from Lintott especially, when the Bears were bowling, how much Samit Patel out there at the time was looking at that as Pollock thought about trying to go for the single and thought better of it. Whether Notts just thought, yeah, we've seen a couple. We've seen how hard it was to get spinners away, discounting that second over for Danny Briggs. I'm finding it hard to get away at the moment here, Ed Pollock.
Yep. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 good balls here from Carter. He's rushing through his over as well, trying to rush Polly. But again, no need to panic as yet. Polly's pretty formidable against the seamers, and you know, if Carter only goes for 4 or 5 here, then we know someone like Ed Pollock can catch that up much later in the innings, no problem at all.
I wonder if he wants to catch the end of the football here, Carter. He is rushing through the sofa, isn't he?
Yeah, obviously rushing through. It's maybe a bit of a plan to try rush the batters. But the last thing you want in T20 cricket is to have that cut-off time in the back of your mind. Jesus, nothing worse than getting to the back end of innings thinking we've got to rush because we might have some sort of penalty put on us.
I wonder why this is clever stuff, this from Will. Just slowing him down a touch, making him wait. Oh, there's a bit of bounce on that one.
Bounce, huh? That's a fine over from Carter, only going for one. And much like in Nottinghamshire innings, that's what wickets do. You know, you can't quite push as hard as you want to, so you've got to be a bit more circumspect, and that's what we've seen that over. We've got a changeable in though from the City end. Two left-handers in with a big leg side boundary. We're going to see some pace with Jake Ball, who looks like he's going to come around the wicket. I won't be surprised if we saw lots of deliveries into the pitch here, whether it be bouncers or slow ball bouncers or heavy length to this big leg side boundary. Looks like he's going to have a deep square leg and a deep fine leg as well. So yeah, as I mentioned, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he's going to use the pitch and ball some heavy length there.
I think that was a deliberate tactic, just that one over, trying to get rid of Hose from Patel.
Yeah, potentially. Like I've mentioned here, we've got two lefties in now, so Notts obviously try to use that to their advantage. If we've got lefty-righty in here, it'd make it perhaps a bit more difficult for them.
That was down the leg side, that'll be a wide.
They'll take a freebie at this point, a bit like Will did in his first ball of his spell from that end. Obviously you try to bowl as straight as you can because you get your leg side field out, but your margin for error is very fine as a bowler these days in one-day cricket, and it's unfortunately a wide for Jake.
Yeah, the two on the hook on the boundary are pretty fine, aren't they? He's got to get this right. Ball, not a bad delivery. Pollock and Rhodes sharply getting through for the single.
Yeah, it's a slow ball there from Jake Ball. I'm not quite sure if it was a knuckle ball or certainly some sort of change of pace. Nicely bowled, and to be fair, we did probably well to get a single off that ball because it was a very, very nicely executed ball by Jake.
That's the key in a chase, isn't it? Just keep taking those singles when you can.
Yeah, and even wickets in hand would be nice. You know, we spoke about them being 2 wickets down going into the last sort of 9 overs. If we could be somewhere similar, that would be absolutely lovely.
Ball again, it was full. It's hit straight. Oh, it was just short. Rhodes a little bit fortunate, perhaps. Didn't quite get as much of it on the meat of the bat that he wanted it to. Trying to get off the mark.
Yeah. Obviously Rhodes is playing a bit of a more expansive shot there, and to be fair, Carter did pretty well there. Carter there at mid-on, tried to make up good ground to get to it and couldn't quite get there, but it's still a dot, albeit a very eventful one.
Ball to Rhodes again. He's gone for it again, and he's picked out the fielder again. Well, he got fortunate on the last delivery, Will Rhodes. Not this time. Pretty much a carbon copy. Only for the Bears man, this one went straight into the hands. And the skipper goes without scoring.
Yeah, Jake Ball there doing just what we thought he was going to, if I'm honest, cramping the bat for room, bowling a nice tight line. Obviously Rosie trying to go over the top. Decent delivery, but only managing to pick out mid-on there, which is a shame. Does bring Sam Hain to the crease though, the Bears all-time leading T20 run scorer, I think I'm right in saying, as of the other week. Took over Ian Bell. And I think I'm right in saying number 3 on the list is Jonathan Trott, so illustrious company for Sam to be in. Yep. As a leading T20 run scorer for the Bears.
Well, he's been averaging 48 this season. Strike rate of 142, 288 runs, 8 innings.
Yeah, he's a fine player. He pretty much picks himself in all formats of the game, Sam. You still forget how young he is, really. Jeez, he's only, how old is he, 25, something like that? Sam Hain?
Yeah, 25.
You know, he feels like he's been around for 10 years. I think he did make his first class debut age 16, something like that. I think I'm right in saying he got a first class 100 on his first class debut, smacking a certain Ollie Stone around the park at Northants maybe. Yeah, he's nodding at the back of the box, yeah. But yeah, Sam was a very young man, and when he made his first class debut and got a brilliant 100, as I say, he's a fine cricketer.
I like to think all this build-up was just for you to get that stat out right there.
Exactly.
Just knowing that he sat behind us.
In comes Jake Ball again.
Well pushed away by Hayne off the mark.
Lovely cover drive first ball out to the man at deep cover point, I think we'll call it. So off strike first ball as the Holly stand erupt into song.
Yeah,
Can't quite hear what they're singing, but it's a great atmosphere over there. Brilliant to see the fans in again here at Edgbaston. Drums and all.
I think it was It's Coming Home. Whether there was a cricket or anything else added in front of it, I'm not sure. Ball to continue. Oh no! Played on, and this is a brilliant start for the Outlaws. And the Bears in all sorts of trouble in this chase. Pollock going for the hook. Bit of misfortune in it.
Yeah, again, Jake Ball doing what we thought he was going to do. He's using the big leg side boundary, whacking it into the middle of the pitch. Polly going for the pole, and yeah, unfortunately dragging it onto his stumps there. So slightly unfortunate for Polly. And yeah, not ideal as being 3 down relatively quickly.
Yeah, got to maybe just regroup a little bit here. Smile on the face of Matt Lamb as he comes out to join Sam Hayne.
Yeah, Lammy again, a player you think's been around for ages, but he's only 24. He's a very mature cricketer. He's got a lot to offer, so nice opportunity for him here to bat 18 overs and hopefully get a good score.
Just the 5 for Ed Pollock this time.
So not really attacking here. They've got the slip in, got a deep cover point out and deep square leg, which probably tells me that he's going to bang it into the middle of the pitch here.
It's a good strike by Lamb just to get himself off the mark. They were looking for 2 as Hayne scampered through quickly but settled for the 1. Big over for Notts, 12 for 3.
Yeah, Jake Ball will be delighted with that. To be fair, Jake Ball's fine cricketer, and in recent years has been one of the best white ball bowlers in the country. He's obviously played for England and perhaps could do again, if I'm honest. So yeah, he's a fine start there from Jake. He's a good bowler.
Well, at the same stage, Notts were 35 without loss. They're well behind the curve at the moment. They're needing 166 and 102 to chase this down.
Yeah, so it's up to pretty much 10 and over, isn't it, at the moment? So lads here need to play some sensible cricket, but also, you know, we don't want to be getting too far behind that rate because he's creeping up as we speak. He's at 9.8 at the moment.
Fletcher coming in and just sneak through for the single.
Yeah, Luke Fletcher starting here from the pavilion end. Great character is Fletch. Obviously suffered a real nasty accident at this ground a few years ago from this end, bowling at Sam Hayne. A bit of a freak injury, getting it whacked straight back at him and whacking him on the head, but it's great to see him back. He's a brilliant character and a brilliant lad, if I'm honest. So yeah, nice to see him back. Having said that, I hope Haney whacked him all on the back.
Fletcher steaming in, Notts with their tails up. Again, Bears just working a sharp single. A bit of a misfield, but no additional run. Floodlights well and truly taking over now.
Yeah, lovely balmy evening out there. It's, you know, still shorts and t-shirt weather for most of the crowd. It's been a gorgeous day here in Birmingham.
Might be able to hear the hum of the air conditioning unit inside our box here. It was 27 degrees earlier.
Oosh.
Fletcher comes in. Thought with 2 proper athletes coming in, we've got to try and cool it down.
You've got to get it to prime ambiance, especially for someone like Stoner.
Don't want to be responsible for any issues for you boys in training tomorrow,
exactly,
having been in a sweltering commentary box tonight.
That'll be absolutely fine. Notts here more than happy to just give the Bears a single a ball or one a ball And to be honest, at the moment, the Bears happy to just take one a ball and just try stem the flow of wickets.
15 for 3, 3.3. Fletcher again, well worked off the hip once more from Sam Hain.
We'll try push for 2 here, and Sam is.
Oh, he has gone for a
quick
second. That's good running, really good running.
That was pretty well placed too. That it was out to backward square leg. The deep square leg is just behind, but it was 20 yards behind him, and Sam Hain there was running to the danger end and was always going to make it. He's absolutely rapid, is Sam.
Yeah, he made that call, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Strong call. I mean, he was already turning around before I think Matt Lamb was still watching.
Are you trying to say something about Matt Lamb's athleticism there?
Absolutely not. I leave that to you.
That's a nice delivery by Fletch there to keep Sam on strike, just heavy back of a length.
He's already had enough abuse on this commentary tonight, Matt Lamb. All of it from Ollie Hallen-Derby.
Friendly banter, friendly banter.
Yeah, you can explain that to him tomorrow when he starts asking questions.
Nothing I wouldn't say to his face, and he knows that. He's a top lad.
To any friends and family who might be tuning in.
Last ball of this Fletcher over here, coming into Haney. Again, it's into the middle of the wicket, and Haney
Looked a little bit slower, that one, didn't it?
Yeah, that's a slow ball into the middle of the wicket. Clever ball, and Haney tapping it out his head and going out to deep square leg. Pinching the strike for the next over. I think it would be Samit Patel again to bowl it from the city end.
18 for 3 or 4. A lot to discuss in there. Well, he's looking a bit glum, isn't he? Now he's seen the cameras on him.
There he's all right now. I must say, I think I'm right in saying that the crowd's only 6,000 tonight, but it seems a lot more. Obviously, when people are spread out, it seems a lot more than that. It's a great atmosphere out there. Quite often for T20 games, not in the normal pre-COVID, you'd have a whole section of the ground sort of cordoned off, no fans in it whatsoever. So with everyone spread out, it looks really full. It's brilliant. And obviously, great news this week that the club's going to be able to have 19,000 in for the ODI against Pakistan in a few weeks' time, which is fantastic news. There were great scenes here in the Test match against New Zealand of a packed house, so hopefully much the same atmosphere for that Pakistan ODI.
I was going to say, you've still got the, as we say, temporary bit of stand over the top away to our right side, to the side of the Hollies.
Yeah. As Patel comes in again to Haney.
Hain's gone for it. There is a fielder trying to scamper round, and he's in trouble, and he's gone. And Notts know that that's a huge wicket, because a big danger man for the Bears has gone.
Yeah, Haney trying to take advantage of the short leg side boundary there and opting to play the slog sweep, and Jake Ball there at short backward square leg, making up some good ground and taking a good catch over his shoulder. See what Haney was trying to do. Unfortunately, not quite getting away with it on this occasion.
I suggest real concern now. There's so many back in the hutch already. It's going to take something pretty special to get the Bears back on track from here.
Yeah, and this brings Rob Yates to the crease. Like I mentioned, a fine young player. Probably seen the fans watching him will have seen more of him in red ball cricket than they have white ball cricket, but he can certainly play in white ball. Don't think if there's any sort of slouch. He can certainly give it a biff, but definitely a rebuild required here from the Bears. Try to get as deep as we can here and just do a bit of rebuilding for the next 6 overs, something like that.
Sam Hain going for just 5. Just the one boundary so far for the Bears. 18 for 4 in the 5th.
And that's really squeezing here. The fielders are in tight in the ring. They've got to slip in. That ball there that Lamb's just knocked into mid-wicket normally be a pretty easy single, but they're attacking, they're squeezing. The man at mid-wicket's there 10 yards off the ring, so they're really attacking here and Notts. Trying to make it really difficult for these two to even do any rebuilding, even rotate their strike. They're going to try and make Lammy or Yatesy play a big shot here.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of shouting going on out there. A lot of geeing each other up.
Yep. As that mid-wicket now drops out and Backward square leg comes in. Samit saying, feel free to whip me through mid-wicket for a single. As Lammy does. And that brings young Robbie Yates on to strike. He's just finished his second year. I think he's got one more year left of his degree down at Birmingham Uni. Literally just lives down the road in Selly Oak with George Garrett, who finished his degree a couple of weeks ago. I think he's awaiting his results. So yeah, him and George Garrett are housemates and both studying together. I think I'm right in saying Yates is doing English literature. George Garrett, ancient history.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are those subjects that interest you?
You know what, George is a brilliant lad and he's brilliant. I love a bit of history and I do like picking his brains about it. So he's, as Samit finishes with a dot there to finish the over. George's hero is Richard the Lionheart. So if you want any Richard the Lionheart stats or facts, go to George Garrett, he knows all about him. I think that's who he did his dissertation on, Richard the Lionheart and the Crusades. So there you go. Who'd have thunk it?
19 for 4 off 5. Here the Bears.
And Jake Ball's going to swap ends here, so now bowling from the pavilion end to Lammy. I would imagine it's probably going to be more of the same, with banging it into the middle of the pitch and try to take advantage of the big leg side boundary. Last over of the power play this.
And a big sweep, it's gone high. Fielder trying to get back round underneath it, and it's a comfortable take. Real comfortable take. Stephen Mullaney, the Notts captain, had to wait almost an age for that to come down. Out of the floodlights as well. But another one is walking back towards the pavilion. And this is turning into a real difficult chase now for the Bears.
Yeah, Lammy obviously thinking there that this is a chance to attack and try to go over long on. I think it was a bit of a slow ball. I can't tell if that's back of the hand, but certainly it looked like he took a bit of pace off. Unfortunately for Lammy, it's gone straight up and Mulaney's taken a good catch there. Which brings Mickey B, Michael Burgess to the crease. Just signed a new deal with the club, a new contract extension, keeping him at Edgbaston for the next couple of years, which is fantastic news for Mickey B. It's going to be great to play with him, hopefully, for the next few years.
Took a really good stumping, didn't he, to get rid of Peter Trago?
Yeah. He's, to be fair, he's been working incredibly hard on his keeping. He's a fine batter, but he's been working really, really hard on his keeping. And that's sort of coming to fruition with a few stumpers we've seen. He took a brilliant leg side stumping off me in the county championship, and yeah, he's been working really hard on it. Jake Ball here with the enviable figures of 3 for 4 off 1.1 overs. So brilliant figures for Jake Ball.
Storming in again. Space there to whip it away, and it will beat the fielder, and that's a welcome boundary.
Yeah, tiny bit too straight there to Yates, and Yates just clipping it off his legs for 4. Nothing really forced about that, it was just a leg side ball that he's clipped for 4.
How will they think about going about this now? Because it's obviously against them. They don't have the wickets in hand, but you can just start to pick up a couple of boundaries.
Yeah, I think for the time being, we're not really in a position to attack here. It's just going to be literally just some normal batting for the next 5 overs or so from these two, and then hopefully if they can get themselves in for the next 5 overs, it's potentially seeing if they can do something special from there. But the moment being 23 for 5, it's going to be a pretty special chase from here. But I think for the time being, it'll just be some pretty normal batting and seeing if we can do something special from 10 overs out, something like that.
Ball again, and again space. Fielder will cut this one off this time.
Yeah, another nice clip off the legs there for Yates. He's timing that really nicely. Which brings Burge onto strike for his first ball.
There's a big old gap down there, isn't there?
Yeah, they're attacking, so they've got a slip in, which means that they've not got a mid wicket. So your man out there at deep square leg has got quite a lot of ground to cover there. He's done it pretty well, to be honest. I think it might be Calvin Harris again, or can't quite tell. Oh, it's James. It's young batter Lyndon James out there. He's fielded pretty well.
Ball to continue then. 2 deliveries left of the over.
That's a knuckleball there from Ball. First ball to Burge, trying to take the pace off.
And just explain that for people that might not be too aware of the knuckleball.
Well, obviously a normal delivery, you're holding your fingers, your fingertips. Knuckleball, you sort of kill your fingers back and you're gripping the ball with the knuckles of your 2 index fingers. It just means you get less behind the ball and it comes out a little bit slower. Well, it comes out a lot slower like that delivery did there.
It's a good strike this time by Burgess, but just for one.
Yeah, you basically hold the ball in your knuckles instead of your fingertips, and you know the ball comes out a lot slower, despite your arm coming over at the same speed.
So 25 for 5 at the end of the power play. Notts were 71 for no loss at the same stage.
Yeah, I think it probably goes without saying that they had a better power play than us so far. Well, power play's over, so Notts probably had a better batting power play than we have. But you never know.
Still plenty of time left.
Stranger things have happened here. The young leg spinners come on. Calvin Harrison. Not to be mistaken for the DJ Calvin Harris. Calvin is actually a lovely young lad. He played a few games on trial for our second team a few years ago. As he comes into Burge, and nice single to long off here. But yeah, Calvin's a lovely guy. He played a few second team games for us. Nothing sort of came of it for him, unfortunately. But he's gone and done the same for Nottingham, and done really well. He's got some really good performances so far in the Blast this year for Notts. I think he's been signed, I'm right in saying. He's got some useful lower order runs and bowled pretty well. I think he's bowled a few death overs with his leg spin as well, but he's done well. I think I'm right in saying he's from the same part of the world as Jake Lintott. He's a Somerset lad. He's down Taunton way, so good on him for carrying on with the trialling and getting a deal with Notts. Yates, he knocks it out to long on.
Good stage of the game to come into as well.
Yeah, as a young leg spinner, I would imagine wanting to come on and bowl just out of the power play when the team are 27 for 5 was quite a nice stage to bowl. Unfortunately for the Bears at the moment. He comes in again to Burge. Slightly back of a length there, and Burge playing it into mid-wicket for a single.
So what Burgess has been in for 4, Yates has faced 5.
And as we've talked about here, their options are pretty limited here for Yates and Burge. Are probably just going to look to knock it around for the first, well, for their first 20-30 deliveries and see if they can do something special down the back end. Again, back of a length from Harrison there, and Yates latches onto the pull, yeah.
Yeah, 4. Lovely shot, just rocking back. Was a fielder down there. Just seemed to pick up a bit of pace as it.
Yeah, it's a short ball from
through
Harrison.
the outfield.
And to be fair, he's bowling to his field there. He's got a big leg side boundary, but Yates has absolutely nailed it in front of the guy at deep mid wicket for 4. Great shot.
Was Peter Trigo trying to chase it down?
Oh, and it's a nice little tickle. I'm going to push for 2 here, but not quite going to be able to make it.
Trigo in quickly.
Trigo, very good all-round sportsman. This week was trying to qualify for the Open Championship Golf. The Open Championship qualifiers were at Hollingwell, brilliant golf course in north of Nottingham, and Peter Trigo was trying to qualify for that, and in doing so was trying to raise money for the Professional Cricketers Association Trust, PCA Trust, which is a brilliant charity that looks after all current and past cricketers, and Peter Trigo, yeah, was trying to qualify for the Open. I'm not sure if he managed it, but yeah, he's a brilliant golfer and try to turn his hand to that as well, which is nice.
What's your golf like?
My golf is okay. We've got some fine golfers in and around the squad. Ed Pollock, brilliant. Plays off about 4 or 5. I'm off 10 these days, so I'm okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm not bad. Again, another change of bowling here, so double change. It's Carter from the pavilion end, blowing round the wicket to the right hand Burgess.
Only the single off his first over
Yeah.
Matt Carter absolutely raced through it as well.
Much like we've said all evening, he's going to be looking to use his big leg side boundary now. More than happy for the batters of Yates and Burge to get a single ball here and just try and get them to knock it to the big leg side boundary, I'd imagine.
Don't Take Me Home has just started up in the Hollies away to our right hand side.
Now it'll be a bit more difficult for Carter to bowl to left-handed Yates here to a short leg side boundary, but it's whether Yates at this stage of the game is willing to take that risk.
He's got protection with 2 out there. Just plays it a little bit straight through the offside for a single.
Yeah. Like I say, it's only short down there. It's maybe 50 yard to that short leg side boundary for Yatesy. I would imagine he'd be very tempted for the slog sweep, but given the wickets we've lost so far, he's probably just going to keep that shot in the bag for now. As Burge backs away a touch, Carter follows him and Burge swipes it out to deep square leg. Bit of an action single that. Burge dancing around, Carter following him, and only 1 run coming from it really.
37 for 5. Burgess has 6. Yates has 12.
Yates he late cuts this and he's unlucky actually not to split those fielders there. I think that's Jake Ball doing a nice job there at backward point.
Most of the protection in the deep on the leg side still. And it was a decent line. Will be stopped off. They'll come back for 2.
Good running and a good bit of work in the deep. I'm not quite sure who that is out there. Might be Slater out there. Does a fine bit of fielding. But yes, he's just walking across there to perhaps looking to access that leg side, and Carter following him, and meaning Yates he could get away with a late cut.
Carter again, big tall man, getting away with a dot ball. 39 for 5 after 8. They are just about to reveal the Scrivens fan of the match.
You've got to give it to the man who brings a drum in, haven't you? Jeez, what an effort that is. That's got to be hard work on the bus. Bringing a drum that size. No, I think it's his young friend, fan of the match. There you go. Look at that. That's a great effort. Great effort.
Trying to keep the atmosphere going on a Vitality Blast night under the lights. Oh dear, there's another one gone. Burgess, a leading edge as he tried to whip it away off his pads. And the Bears are 6 down.
Yeah, Burgess looking to manoeuvre that onto the leg side and getting a leading edge back to Calvin Harrison. Hard to tell if there's a little bit of spin there, but unfortunately for Burgess, just getting the leading edge straight back to Calvin.
Well, here comes Tim Bresnan, who throughout his career has produced some heroics and superhuman performances. I imagine part of his thought at the moment will be just trying to make sure that the Bears bat out the 20.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing to be said about this Bears lineup is we bat very, very deep. I think Craig Miles coming in at 11, and Milo's a fine batter. So yeah, we do bat deep. But safe to say it's probably going to take something quite special now. But never say never.
Well, I was about to say to you, I just wonder at what point do you start to kind of think about net run rate type elements, you know, just to bat it through and get as close as possible. Bresnan had a big swing at that.
Yeah, very full ball there from Harrison, and Brezzy just played on the top of it. Look, maybe just got an inside edge.
39 for 6. Harrison to continue.
Oh, spin that. That's a gorgeous delivery. It's a lovely delivery, and when the scoreboard's like this, it means that spinners can flight it that little bit more and just be a little bit braver with the line and length, and I think that's probably what's happened there. He's chucked one really far up there, and it's spun, and gorgeous delivery there by Harrison.
Oh, edged and gone. Bresnan goes. He didn't last long. Beautiful bit of bowling. Previous delivery beat him all ends up, and he prodded forward for this one, Bresnan. And a big edge to slip.
Yeah, that's a lovely delivery for honest. In red ball, white ball, any form of cricket, a leg spinner pitching on leg and spinning away is a very nice delivery. Nicely bowled there.
Mulaney's second catch of the evening.
You don't see many slip catches in T20 cricket, so it must be a decent delivery if you're nicking people off in T20. Normally they're all caught in the deep or caught mid off, mid on, which brings Danny Briggs to the crease. I think I'm right. Well, I know I'm right in saying Danny Briggs is a world record holder in T20 cricket. Do you know why?
No, go on.
Well, you got to at least guess.
Okay, well, we'll wait for Harrison to get through these last two deliveries.
World record holder.
Is it batting or bowling?
Oh, it's batting. I'll give you a clue there. It's batting.
World record for Danny Briggs.
Yep.
Strike rate for a man with number 14 on his bat.
No, great guess, but no. I'll give you one more guess, and then I'll tell you. As Harris comes into Briggs' here.
He's played forward at that.
The lesser seen 2 slips here in T20 cricket.
I just thought in the last couple of balls, actually, Ollie, that Harrison was just getting it through a little bit quicker this over. That might have been why it caused Bresnan those problems. That's a big heave. There is a fielder out there, and he picks him out.
Yeah, big slog sweep there from Brigger. Brigger obviously try to think of that net run rate or try to pick out that leg side boundary that was mentioned by Mikey. Unfortunately, it was decent enough strike, but it's just picked out Lyndon James on the boundary. He was a tall man. And picked him out nicely.
Well, this has not been the response after half-time that the Bears would have been looking for, having got themselves back into the match after a difficult first 6 or 7 overs of bowling. Gave themselves what felt like a decent target to chase.
And there's a long discussion there between Ethan Brooks, the 12th man, and Rob Yates. Now, Rob Yates hasn't been batting that long, and I doubt needs that much of a drink or that much of a chat. So I do wonder if net run rates are being mentioned, as you mentioned there, Mikey. Obviously chatting about something in depth, and yeah, I wonder if there's a bit of a message there that's saying that, albeit we might be in a pretty poor position here, do we want to try scoring some runs pretty quickly to try and get our net run rate up? I'll put you out of your misery, Mikey.
Go on.
Danny Briggs has the world record score by a number 11 batter in T20 cricket. There you go, highest ever score by a number 11 in T20 cricket. He scored 40 for the first game of the year this year for the Adelaide Strikers.
Wow.
As Matt Carter bowls a lovely delivery there to Craig Miles, spins right through him, misses everything, misses the keeper.
And they'll get 2.
They run 2. I think it's going to be byes, leg byes.
Leg bye.
Lovely delivery, bouncy off spinner from around the wicket. Yeah, it does look to be a bit of spin there for both the wrist spinner and the off spinner. Normally not the case. Normally you see under lights there being a bit of dew and it's skidding on and not spinning as much. So perhaps not what we were expecting here. Edgy. So certainly nothing crazy, but just enough spin there to keep the batters honest.
Well, Jake Lintott was the pick of the Bears bowlers with 3 for 28, and the spinners for Notts have certainly taken that on. Harrison picking up a couple now. Yeah. Carter trying to help it. A lot of space left for Bears just to take a single. Scoreboard ticks round to 43 for 8. Carter once more. There'll be no run there as Mulaney is in short.
Yep. Carter in again here to Milo around the wicket. Milo using his feet a touch and not quite able to get there. Carter probably saw him coming, I reckon, and dragged his length back a touch.
And again, nothing doing.
Yeah, Milo tried to work that out to long on, but with Carter being around the wicket, he's able to get that pretty easily.
Well, there you go. Jake Ball with 3, Calvin Harrison with 3, Samit Patel with 2, but I guess it was the way he got rid of Adam Hose, who just smashed a boundary, hadn't he, the ball before, putting it straight back to him, and that's really where it's set in. Yeah,
Fred said there's been a steady flow of wickets here, which is not what the Bears want, not what we want. And unsurprisingly, Calvin carrying on here to Yatesy from the city end. Actually surprised they're not attacking a little bit more with a slip or something, but here we go.
Excellent.
Yatesy tried to cut that one. It should have been stopped easily at cover by Samit Patel. He fumbled it a little bit, and there's an easy single there for Yatesy into the offside.
So 44 for 8. Ollie Stone is primed to come in and
yeah, well, I don't think I've done that well there, have I? I've just got 8 wickets for knots on my stint, so you can't do any worse, Stoney. Apologies, listeners, but yeah, I've not done very well there for the Bears. But thanks for having me again. It's been lovely.
It's been great talking to you again, my friend, and look forward to the next episode of the Bears podcast as well. As one Ollie steps out and one Ollie steps in. In a difficult stage of the game. Just the 2 more wickets in hand. I say it is now Ollie Stone about, can they just bat out the 20 and get that score, get to 3 figures maybe? I know that's going to be even harder from where they are.
Yeah, it's been a difficult watch. Like you say, now is it all about just batting these overs out to try and limit the damage to the run rate, and yeah, hopefully get to a respectable score that hopefully it doesn't come down to run rate for those 4 places, but often it does, so it can be quite crucial in the later stages of the group.
Got a week to wait for the next game as well, so a week to stew on it. As Craig Miles just pants one away, just blocks it away. Big games to come. Bears v Pairs, or Rapids, I guess, as I should refer to them.
Yeah, it's always a nice game to be involved in. I wouldn't say it's a hostile game in terms of abuse and stuff. It's but it's definitely one that you always want to win.
I've been in the crowd on some of those games though, Ollie. I would say there was some hostility at times.
Yeah, I have been on the receiving end of a little bit from the New Road crowd.
Oh, there's no fielder going to get close to it. It'll bounce comfortably. And they got through for a couple there as well. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's like at New Road, but I've been in the Hollies a few times on Bears v Pairs games, and let's just say, yeah, there was some things coming out, not necessarily out of my mouth, Ollie, obviously.
Of course. Yeah, no, the Hollies, yeah, can get stuck into a few people. Witnessed it a couple of weeks ago with a test match that they give a few of the New Zealand players a bit of stick. Nothing abusive, but yeah, just friendly.
Oh, bit of a misfield and a boundary, and a welcome boundary to go past 50.
Yeah, Alex Hales in the deep there, just yeah, not anticipating the spin, and it's done him on his right hand side.
It was hit pretty flat by Craig Miles. And they'll scamper through for a single.
Seems a long time ago since Notts brought up their 50 in quicker fashion. hopefully we can have a better end to the game rather than the start that Notts had.
Well, they were past the ton at this same stage. Notts after 12 were 110 for 3. We have one more delivery to get to 12 at 55 for 8. Carter once more, and that's worked away nicely. Just the single. Rob Yates was thinking about it, but will settle for having the strike.
Definitely looks like a message that was brought out may have been to bat the overs, or at least take it as deep as we can. Just happy knocking singles at the moment and trying to get that 2 with the odd boundary in the over. But definitely looks like the intent may have been put away, shall we say.
Oh, 122 off 48.
Stranger things have happened. There is a short boundary. But yeah, the spin has definitely worked tonight for both teams.
We talk about Worcestershire. There was a T20 game here a couple of years ago. I'm looking to Ollie Helen Derby to the side as well, where there's a very short boundary towards the Hollies side, and there was someone from Worcestershire that had one of the small bats. Absolutely wellied a few.
Yeah, that may have been Gareth Andrew. Actually, there was a period where Mongoose.
Yeah, that's the Mongoose bats.
Mongoose had an extra long handle with a short blade. I think it sort of died pretty quickly, that theory. I think a lot of the handles broke in those bats. It couldn't quite deal with the demands. But yeah, they were around for a season or so.
So I think it was the pitch was a good 6 pitches over. They're very close to the Hollies. And I was in the Raglan stand on that night. They absolutely leathered a few. 60 for 8. There'll be another single here. These two have stuck around.
Yeah, I guess we saw Yorkshire the other night carry on and probably got themselves into a hole. I know the run rate was climbing with every dismissal, but sort of maybe felt that we could have tried to take it a little bit deeper. A few soft dismissals in there, but again, pressure can do funny things to you.
Nobody really got in, did they? That's the thing, I guess. It was good pressure that was put on them. Some good bowling as well, and that's another good bowling. A brilliant piece of bowling. And the Bears are 9 down. And Harrison continues to cause problems. This one may be a bit flatter, a bit straighter. And it does for Rob Yates.
Yeah, smart bowling there by Harrison. Definitely pushed that one through a bit quicker. Yates backed away and tried to give him a bit of room, and just on the replay there, it looked like it also gripped in the surface as well. So yeah, very good bit of bowling from Harrison again, and moves him on to his 4th wicket.
Ollie was talking earlier about the hybrid surface and whether that gives a little bit more just to grip onto.
Yeah, I was probably surprised that it didn't spin maybe a bit more for us in the first innings if it was going to. Normally the lights can make it skid on a bit, whereas maybe tonight it seemed that the lights have made it grip a little bit more. But yeah, normally those hybrid wickets last a little bit longer with that artificial grass, and yeah, like I say, I'm very surprised to see it spin like it has.
4 for 17 for Calvin Harrison from his 4 overs. Bears 61 for 9 off 13. Jake Ball steaming in from the pavilion end. Attempted maybe possibly slower ball Yorker. Seemed to die on it, didn't it, right at the death there?
He did, yeah. Jake Ball very clever with his changes of pace and his variations. Heard Ollie talking earlier about his knuckleball. He's very good at that, and actually getting that in the block hole there may have been a variation that, just like you say, just sort of dipped at the last minute.
Ball again, a little bit shorter. That came off the hip. Scamper through. Will be a leg bye. You can see that at the left hand side of your screen. .62 for 9.
Yeah, like we say, disappointing display. Saw the other night how, Yorkshire obviously posted a low total, and now in return we've posted a low total. But onto Sunday with a 4-day game.
Well, that's the first ball he's faced in Vitality Blast this season, Jake Lintott, and he's off the mark.
Getting up the order, 100 strike rate. Now, Jake, like Ollie was saying as well, we've got a long batting lineup. Jake coming in at 11. He's very handy. He likes to play some scoops and reverse sweeps at times. He's very capable with the bat.
And he might just have picked out the fielder. Alex Hales was struggling to pick it up initially, but he claims the catch and ends the innings, and it's a thoroughly impressive victory for Notts Outlaws. Disappointing night in the end for Birmingham Bears. Just kept losing wickets at key periods.
Rapids here, of course,
Never
that's on
really got
Friday
going
the
in this
16th
chase.
of July. That game is a sellout, but 2 days later we take on the Northant Stillbacks in our final group game, of which there are still a limited number of tickets available. If you want to get your hands on yours, tickets.edgbaston.com to guarantee your seat at the final Blast game of the group stages. Remember, due to COVID guidelines, Bears members and season pass holders, please do remember that you need to log on to your online accounts to claim your complimentary tickets. There is more live cricket here on Sunday as we return to county championship action against Durham. Play gets underway on day 1 at 11 o'clock. Thank you for coming tonight and showing your support to the Bears. Not the result we wanted, but congratulations to the Notts Outlaws. Thank you again as well to Jeetan Patel. We said goodbye this evening, and thank you to both him and Tim Ambrose. Thanks to Jeets for coming along this evening, a true Bears legend.